Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Dan Patrick.
I love Dan Patrick. Oh, my God. He's one of my favorites.
Welcome back to the Dan Patrick Show, where Dan and the Danettes return.
Hello, little buddy.
And so does sports.
Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball Commissioner. If you have to pause the season, pause. How long can you pause this season?
If we have a team or two that's, really decimated for any significant period of time, it can have a real impact on the competition. We have to think very, very hard about what we're doing.
Catch up on any guests you missed on the Dan Patrick Show podcast.
The upside is huge.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave.
We would be willing to watch cockroaches play football.
This is Dan Patrick.
Good to be back. Boys are here, ready to go. Nice little break. Well-deserved, but ready to go. I'm not sure where we're going, but we're going. A lot of things to talk about today. Some of the things that happened while we were on break. I want to thank those who filled in while we were gone. Thank you for your contributions. It's a Monday, best and worst of the weekend, as we always do. What you saw that you liked, you didn't like, your opportunity to be part of the program in a variety of ways. We say good morning to those who are watching on youtube.com/The Dan Patrick Show. Of course, Chat Row. And those listening on our great radio affiliates numbering 362 around the country. After all these years, the Washington Redskins will finally change their name. It is supposed to happen at some point today. Public pressure and strong columns from the media had little impact on owner Daniel Snyder throughout the years. I mean, he has been steadfast in not changing the name. But now financial pressure, and that's always the game changer. That took just days to sway him. When FedEx says that we're going to stop sponsoring the stadium name, they threatened to pull out. Snyder gave in. And now they're reportedly picking that new name. And there are those that are going to argue about tradition and growing up with that team name. And there's no doubt that Redskins is hurtful to some people. So what's the point? Team names aren't sacred. Sometimes they're cool. Sometimes they're silly. To quote a movie you might remember that I was in, Basketball, the Minneapolis Lakers moved to Los Angeles where there are no lakes, and the New Orleans Jazz moved to Salt Lake City where there's no jazz. Washington fans are going to survive, though. You'll move on, get a new nickname. You know what would really help the Redskins? How about you win some games there? That would help. That would make people happy. We did check in with the league because I wanted to know what role owners play in approving a nickname or the commissioner. This is what I got from the league office today. The owners won't be voting on this. The league works with a club on the legal and creative design processes. And we had this on a reliable source of what is going on right now. There's mock-ups with a variety of possible nicknames for the Redskins. So you have all the marketing people with Washington and digital people, and they're doing mock-ups right now of what something is going to look like. And this isn't something you do overnight. This is something that usually takes months and months to be able to actually roll this out. But you're going to be presented with a variety of names, and you've seen some of the names leak out. Somebody even had the silly suggestion of the Washington Generals, which, that's the standard bearer for ineptitude. Maybe it's appropriate that the Redskins go to the Generals, but then are we going to then go, well, wait, what Generals are we talking about here? You're going to go down this rabbit hole. They're talking about Washington Warriors. Okay, some people are going to have problems with that. Remember Marquette was the Marquette Warriors? They got rid of that. So is the name okay or not okay? And then Golden State, they're the Warriors, but if Washington has the Warriors, but then people have a problem with the Warriors, then does Golden State have to change their name because they were the Philadelphia Warriors? So this is where we're headed. And we're going to get a new name. I think Red Tails might be the favorite right now in Vegas. The Washington Presidents, the Washington Lincolns, Washington Veterans, Washington Capitals, Washington Americans, Washington Memorials, Washington Monuments. These are some of the names in Vegas right now. But I think the Red Tails, which is a tip of the cap to the Tuskegee Airmen, and I think they're the favorites. Then the Generals. I don't get Generals. If I'm a Redskins fan, I got to change my name, so now we're the laughing stock of, losers. The Generals were the team that played the Harlem Globetrotters. Red Clots. like you're the Generals?
Similar win-loss records.
Yeah. And then the Presidents, the Lincolns, the Veterans. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen today. At least that's what some of the news stories. It's being worked on right now. Here's a statement from the Washington Redskins football team. This is 2 minutes ago. On July 3rd, we announced the commencement of a thorough review of the team's name. The review has begun in earnest. As part of this process, we want to keep our sponsors, fans, and community apprised of our thinking as we go forward. Today, we are announcing we're retiring the Redskins name and logo upon completion of this review. Dan Snyder, Coach Ron Rivera are working closely to develop a new name and design approach that will enhance the standing of our proud tradition, rich franchise, and inspire our sponsors. Sponsors goes first before fans and community here. You notice that? Inspire our sponsors, fans, and community for the next 100 years. I have to applaud the owner. He's honest. This is all about the sponsors here. And look, Daniel Snyder's a businessman. He did something right to make this money to be able to buy this team. He's going to make more money with a new logo. That's why I kept saying he can act like he's going kicking and screaming, like this is never going to happen. This will never. And you can put that in large letters, bold letter, never going to happen. Okay, now he's getting pressure, and now he can act like, hey, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to do this. And now you bring in all this new merchandise. To me, it's a win-win. I brought this back to the commissioner, Roger Goodell, that I do think he's starting to look at his legacy, other than, hey, I made these guys a ton of money. You look at Colin Kaepernick. He's been at the forefront here trying to get him back into the league. Now, under your watch, Washington changing its nickname here. So I think that has a little bit to do with this as well. But you look at the bottom line. When the sponsors start to bail, that's when things happen. And that's what happened here. Daniel Snyder did not have an epiphany. He's not woke. He didn't go, you know what? I'm looking around. Maybe it's time I change this nickname. That wasn't going to happen. I find out with these owners, they're loyal to money. That's it. Among the NFL's current franchises, only 6 times has any of them changed their nickname. And only 1 time has it happened in the half century since the merger. And that was the result of a franchise move. So since the end of World War II, the only time a team changed its name without a franchise move was 1963, when the Titans, the Jets, changed their name from the Titans to the Jets. Now, you had the Tennessee Oilers. They changed their name to the Titans. They kept the Oilers for the first 2 years after the move from Houston to Nashville. But that's really all we've had. Yeah, Paulie.
Why would the New York team change from Titans to the Jets? Titans is a great name. Was that a sponsorship deal? I'm being serious. I
have no idea.
What if they got an airline sponsor?
I don't know. I don't know why they went from Titans to Jets.
Titans is a cool name for a New York team.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
But is it a cool nickname for Nashville with Tennessee Titans? Like, I've never heard you say, boy, the Titans is a cool name for Tennessee.
But I like Nashville, but I'm anti-alliteration. You know that about me.
That's true.
I like Nashville as a city.
Yeah. Yes, McLovin.
Yeah, the Titans is not good. The worst, but the Bullets, the Washington Bullets, changed their name to the Washington Wizards. It's got to be the worst nickname in sports. Like, ooh, let's get it fired up to go see the Wizards. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but they were they preceded all of the wizardry that you love.
Oh, Harry Potter.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Why? There is something about Washington franchises that inspire boredom. I can't put my face. I mean,
well, their teams. Well, the Caps are good. I mean, they won a Stanley Cup.
right, but they're just never going to be as high profile as like the Red Wings and like the Nationals are. The Nationals won the World Series, and I don't think the average National fan cares. I mean,
and this goes back to, and I've been saying this for years, that I got it on, from a good source in the league office, that Daniel Snyder wanted to move back into Washington, D.C., which is where the Redskins used to be at RFK. And he was told, if you are thinking about doing that, you must change the name. That was it. That was before anything was going to be broached, any possible, deal to move back into Washington, D.C., you had to change the nickname. And here he is talking about moving back into Washington, D.C. Maybe you reclaim RFK, you refurbish that, or build a new stadium. But I'd keep an eye on that as well. Yes, Paul.
Back in over 50 years ago, maybe 55 years ago, club president Sonny Werblin, changed the name of the New York Titans to the New York Jets because the new home field was going to be between Idlewild Airport and LaGuardia Airport. That was one of the key decisions in why they changed the name.
Okay.
I can't find any more reasoning.
Okay. By the way, this program is brought to you by Raycon, R-A-Y-C-O-N. You're going to love these wireless earbuds. I got a lot of use out of them on the break. Get 15% off your Raycon order at buyraycon.com/Patrick. That's buyraycon.com/Patrick. All right, we got poll question, I'm guessing, McLevin?
Yeah, we're going to pick the Washington name. We're going to use the top 6 Vegas odds, and they are the Red Tails, as you mentioned, the Generals, the Presidents, the Lincolns, the Veterans, and the Capitals. But you're right, there already is a Capitals.
Well, but they spell it differently.
Yeah. Oh, you do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and then coming after that, you have the Americans. That's a tough one.
The Washington Americans. And I don't think we're good on monuments and memorials right now, so that's probably not good. Washington Kings, Washington Roosevelts, Red Hawks, the Jeffersons, the Renegades, Arlingtons.
How about the Filibusters? It sounds like a tough group of guys.
Snowflakes is 500 to 1, in case you were wondering. Trumps is 500 to 1.
I think if there's one thing that we've learned, don't name it after a person. Don't name it after a group of people. Let's just scratch those right off.
Yes, McLovin.
Well, I was watching the show on Disney Plus the other day, and Kings is inappropriate because the entire point of the American Revolution, led by Alexander Hamilton,
we're talking about
was
kings.
to take down
That's
the
what
king.
I want to say.
This is such a disappointment that we're not leading with Alexander Hamilton coming on Disney Plus.
I gave Seton an assignment for his vacation. One thing. I just asked for one thing. I said, why don't you watch Hamilton?
I just didn't have any time.
I know.
Sorry.
So I came into today and I go, so? And Seton goes, so? And I go, did you watch? He goes, I just didn't have time.
You know, every time that I fired up Apple TV and it was right there staring me in the face, I was like, oh, yeah, next time. I want to go watch these 37 other shows.
All right. The Red Tails, the Generals, to me, that's going to provide a problem there because people are going to go, those Union Generals, the Presidents, Lincolns? No. Veterans? How about vets? Washington vets. Now then people think it's veterinarians. And yes, Paul.
I got a couple more. How about the Lame Ducks, the Washington Lame Ducks? You get a nice logo, play the kids. The Muckrakers, kind of like a tough team that's down in the mud. Political terms.
How about Hogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we slaughter hogs. I mean, who knows where we're going with any of this stuff. Yes, McLeod.
There is a big movement around Red Wolves, a serious one that isn't on the Vegas odds.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Fred Smoot, I guess, is leading a movement, and Dwayne Haskins likes it, and Kevin Durant likes it.
What's a Red Wolf?
I have no idea. It's an awesome logo, though, but I'm not sure if there is such a thing as a Red Wolf.
That could be cool.
I'd like to know what a Red Wolf is.
Yeah, like is it the genus or the species? I don't know if there is such an animal.
All right, so that's the poll question. We're giving people an opportunity.
Yeah, we'll start with that for hour one.
All right. 877-3DP Show, email address, dp@danpatrick.com, Twitter handle @DP Show. Once again, best and worst of the weekend, what you saw that you liked, you didn't like. I know I'm the bearer of bad news. I'm Danny Downer, and I guess I'm going to continue to be Danny Downer. I really think that the start of the college football and NFL season are in serious jeopardy. I mean, college football is already making alternative plans. And I go back to a conversation I had with the Pac-12 commissioner. That was back in May. This is May 12th when I had Larry Scott, the Pac-12 commissioner, on. And I broached the topic of, and I have this on great authority, great source on it, said that the Pac-12 was in trouble. There would be, if they play, only conference games. So I'm telling the commissioner this, and this is how that conversation went. What I was told a couple of weeks ago by a source was that you're going to see football when it does come back, that the conferences are just going to be playing conference games. And it was probably going to be a 10-game schedule. Now, you might get one outlier where Ohio State plays Ohio University or something that's regional there. How does that jive with what you've been told?
Well, I can tell you, anyone that's telling you now, sitting here in the middle of May, what it's going to be, and they're giving you the inside scoop, isn't a very good source, because I'm the one having the conversations with our peer conferences and our presidents, and we don't know.
But has that been discussed, just what I told you?
Absolutely. That's a scenario.
Okay.
If we can't play a full season and get the full 12 weeks plus the postseason, that would be a natural abbreviated season.
Okay.
You could move to conference only. For us, that would be 9 games. And yes, as I mentioned, we got multiple scenarios. That's not what we're planning on, but that's always an option. That would be the easiest default option, right? That's what schools can control. And frankly, that's the priority. Our schools like playing each other. But at the moment, we're planning on the full season.
Hey, once again, my source was correct on this back in May. Now, I know a lot of things have happened, transpired, but this is what was being discussed. And they realized that they were not going to be able to have non-conference games. And, with the commissioner, and I think he has the coronavirus. So I hope that the commissioner is doing better. But, I had a great source on this telling me that this is what's happening. And plus, understand this, the NCAA doesn't have any jurisdiction. These are all the conferences. And as Paulie likes to say, it's like the 5 mafia families in New York. There's no one in charge. They're kind of in charge of their own area, their own neighborhoods. And there's no boss of the bosses. And that's what you have going on with college football. Pat Forty is going to join us. And I do think there'll be other leagues that are going to follow suit with the Ivy League and maybe go spring. And remember where you had Philip Fulmer, the athletic director, Tennessee? We're going to have 100,000 fans in there. And I said, I'll take the under. I just don't see any of this happening. I just don't. I think it's problematic, and trying to get kids go on campus, and it's just, I think there's so many different potholes here, and I just don't think that they can overcome it. Just sheer numbers here. But I'll talk to Pat Forty about this. And I'm looking at Rutgers. Rutgers has non-conference games that are 2 in New Jersey. And then you have a game against Temple in Pennsylvania. They're traveling to Nebraska. But you can't have 2 games in your own state and then go to Pennsylvania to play Temple. It just doesn't make any sense. And even with the bubble, man, that's as close as we're going to get to being hermetically sealed to be able to pull off the end of a season. Yes.
But isn't the part I completely agree with you about the Rutgers schedule, that it's ridiculous. You can't play games in your own state or neighboring state. But does that say more about the plan is ridiculous or that the conferences are ridiculous?
The conferences are the problem.
I mean, they really make no sense.
No, it doesn't. Hey, you can't stay in state and play somebody, but come on out to Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay.
Dan, you're sleeping on the tradition of the Nebraska-Rutgers game, and I'm not going to handle that on my watch. Come on, buddy.
I know. All right. I'll talk to Pat Forty. Phone calls are welcome. 877-3DP-SHOW. We just got this from Pac-12. Larry Scott is doing well, wants to rest up to make a speedy recovery. So maybe scheduling meetings for this week. Hope you understand. So that's from the Pac-12 PR department. Yeah. I knew that Larry was not doing well or not feeling well, so probably didn't appreciate me bringing that comment back from May. But just being a journalist, Commissioner, we'll get him on later. I'll apologize when I talk to him later. All right, we'll take a break. We'll get to your phone calls. We'll settle on our poll question here. We'll keep an eye on what's going on with Washington with the name change. Pat Forty will join us coming up next. It's 20 after the hour. This is the Dan Patrick Show. These are turbulent times. Everybody knows that. And fraudsters love it because cybersecurity researchers are warning that cyber criminals are sending emails that include Black Lives Matter in the subject line in an effort to install malware on victims' computers. They're doing anything they possibly can to get into your computer. And, they're installing the malware that's known as trick bots. This is why you need LifeLock, okay? LifeLock detects a wide range of identity threats like your Social Security, that number for sale on the dark web. If they detect your information has potentially been compromised, they'll send you an alert. And no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses. LifeLock sees the threats you might miss on your own. Join now. Save up to 25% off your first year. Promo code is Patrick, 1-800-LifeLock, or go to LifeLock.com. Make sure you use the promo code Patrick for 25% off. Okay, so we've had Alex Smith on the show, Aaron Rodgers. Some of these guys have thrown the football to McLovin. So it's just 2 passes.
Okay.
McLovin is an Eagles fan, and I don't know if that affects how you throw.
Right.
But
I can smell you from here.
So, McLovin, if you would like to
But I just want to say I've always dreamed of catching a pass from a Manning. The greatest Manning, Cooper, but I'll take Eli.
Okay. Perfect. All right. There you go. A couple of shots. All right. So Eli Manning, if you're watching on DirecTV, the Audience Network, Channel 239, or the NBC Sports Network, dressed in his Giants blue sweater, by the way. And McLovin, McLovin's going to put on a little Eagles shirt. And so, yeah, we sort of have everybody, all the great ones do, Eli.
Harold Carmichael, or are you going defense? Are you Dawkins or something?
Well, let's be more realistic. I'll be an Eagles defensive back. You'll throw it to me.
Yeah. There you go. Wow. I set you up for that one. I set you up for that one.
Wow. Okay. So Eli, we have a. You can be at moderate level, and then you can bring whatever you want to bring towards McLovin. And there is a bullseye on his helmet if you want to aim there.
There you go.
All right, so there we go. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That wasn't bad.
All right.
That's good. Here we go.
You ducked.
All right, you can throw it now, Eli.
One more? You want one more?
Oh, he wants one more, McLovin.
Oh, no.
No ducking.
All right, here we go.
See, Odell would have caught that with one hand.
Eli, thank you for coming in. Eli Manning on behalf of Gatorade. Al Michaels joins us next here on the Dan Patrick Show.
I think everyone can congratulate the Redskins on announcing that they're going to change their team name to Redskins, whether you agree or disagree. Well, here's their new release that happened just a few minutes ago. The good thing is they're going to try to work the name in as many times as they can before it's gone. If you notice, Redskins, Redskins, Redskin, Redskins, Redskins, Redskins. That's it. I think 7. They got 7 more in before they officially release.
I thought they would do Redskins owner Dan Snyder,
right.
Redskins coach Ron Rivera.
Maybe they ran out. They thought, well, we got a bunch in. But, they want to
inspire our sponsors for the Redskins, fans and community.
If you have any calls, I guess you can.
Isn't it great though that they put sponsors before fans and community?
Respect the honesty.
If they wanted to be really transparent, you put fans, community, principles, and I guess fans and community too.
Oh,
sponsors, fans,
and then they did it again at the bottom to inspire. They did it twice to inspire our sponsors, fans, and community.
For the next 100 years. Are they announcing they're ending the franchise in 100 years? They're retiring?
Question mark?
Question mark? Did we just find
Why
something?
21-20. Washington NFL team.
A lot going on there.
They are transparent. This program brought to you by Mercedes-AMG. Be prepared for whatever comes your way. It's the all-new GT four-door coupe. Because life is a race, visit your local dealership for a test drive today. If you miss any interviews from the Mercedes-AMG Man Cave, go to danpatrick.com where you can watch and listen from inside the Mercedes-AMG Man Cave, Mercedes-AMG driving performance. All right, McLovin, we got our poll question?
Yeah, so we're going to, in the first hour, we're going to name the Redskins, and your choices are as follows: the Red Tails, the Generals, the Presidents, Lincolns, Veterans, or Capitals with an O.
You can't do whips, right?
It's a political term. The whip. Washington whips. It sounds like, fast and... No.
But you know what's going to happen? This hasn't even been factored in. That, let's say you have a name, and then people are going to go, what a lame nickname. It won't have any political repercussions, or there won't be any, political correctness with this. You want something that's going to be bland and benign. Maybe that's what they're hoping for. Like, we don't want to upset anybody. And I'm waiting. If they do Warriors, then what's Golden State do? If they go, we had to pass on Warriors. We can't we don't want to upset anybody. Yes, McLovin.
You know what? But there's so many lame names. Like, I was looking at the names, the Cardinals. Like, why? There's nothing tough about Cardinals. I know, or like, there's just random things. The Bills, Reds. You're Reds.
Who were the Bills named? Are they named after Buffalo Bill?
I would imagine.
I don't even know. And the Cleveland Browns were after Paul Brown? Yeah, Paul.
Imagine if Paul Brown's last name were like Lipschitz. Would he have gone? Would he go the Cleveland Lipschitzes?
This is. I don't know.
Or did he just get lucky that
I think he was
name?
lucky. Yeah. Pat Forty, Sports Illustrated senior writer, as we somehow make the smooth segue in here. Good morning, Pat. How are you?
I'm good. I vote for Washington Monuments.
Well, yeah, but we've been tearing down monuments, haven't we? And,
We have.
Yeah.
We have.
I know.
It would actually make for an ugly helmet, too, with just the Washington Monument on the side.
How was your week, by the way?
Insane, really. I didn't expect it, but that's kind of how this whole thing has gone. It was really busy trying to keep up with what the Big Ten was doing, the Pac-12 was doing, the Ivy League was doing. Things are happening. It's and it seems like the pace of the deconstruction of the season is accelerating.
Did the Ivy League wag the dog here?
Maybe. It's a little different. They certainly did last March in basketball. Football's a little different because football is such a bigger revenue generator for the Power Five and really all of FBS versus where the Ivy League plays it. But they set a tone of we're pulling back. And I think you saw that some other conferences were quick to follow that. Obviously, the Big Ten, which a lot of other conferences were surprised and a little bit annoyed that they went that quickly and basically unilaterally that way. And then the Pac-12 goes to conference only. And I think the other Power 5 conferences probably will eventually follow by the end of the month.
All right, explain this to me, because you're a lot smarter about this than I am. Rutgers has out-of-conference games, 2 in New Jersey and 1 in Pennsylvania against Temple, but they're going to get rid of those and let them fly across country to Nebraska. So explain that to me here, of the logic of the Big Ten.
Well, there's the big logical hole in this. Now, what the Big Ten will say is the biggest reason they went to this conference only thing is that they can control the whole schedule and basically space out 9 or 10 games across 13 weeks, because they feel like it's inevitable that there's going to be some weeks when you're going to have, X number of positive cases of the virus and not be able to play. And if it's with a league opponent, they're like, okay, we can just shift that around and make this work.
Okay.
And I think that they just feel like it's a lot more easy to maneuver across the course of a schedule when you take some weeks out of it and add some open dates there. The other thing, too, Dan, is that at least all the Big Ten teams can say, we're testing the same way. We've got the same protocols. We're all going to decide on Thursday, hey, is your team well enough to go play on Saturday? As opposed to when you're playing Monmouth or Temple, you can't necessarily say they're doing things the same way.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was another way of delaying the season. If we took out those non-conference games that you start the season with, that you can buy yourself a little bit of time. And I don't know if that's part of this as well, that maybe you start to leak into October more than playing games in September.
Could be, and we'll find out because the Big Ten does have some early conference games scheduled. So we'll see. I think they're hoping to try to hammer out something of a schedule here by the end of this week. That may be too soon, but we may start hearing some word whether that is the plan, whether just to push everything back to October 1st. I think they'd probably rather go by mid-September at least, and like I said, use some of those weeks for cushion in case they have cancellations or postponements during the season.
How optimistic are you right now that we have Power 5 conference football games?
Not very. I mean, it's been nothing but dwindling confidence throughout July. It's funny, the ebbs and flows of this thing, as we've talked about before, where, late May, halfway into June, people are really bullish and we're going to play and we're going to have at least 50% filled capacity stands, maybe even 100%. And then a month later, now we're like, boy, I don't know that we're going to play. There's more and more people looking at the spring, I think, as a possibility, although that has its own problems. I mean, we could lose so many of the top players then who just simply say, I'm not going to play. But I'd say I feel less than 50% sure that we will play football in the fall.
I go back to what Kirk Herbstreit said. I think that was in March. And remember, everybody came out of the woodwork and attacked him, where he said, I'm paraphrasing, that we might not have college football. He doesn't see it happening. And here we are right now. And what Herbie said back in March, unfortunately, may come to fruition.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this, I mean, really, you can kind of look at this whole thing as just been this state of denial. And I've been part of it for Americans, probably in general, but American sports fans, of like every time something's been taken off the table, like, what? Really? There's no way. No, the Ivy League, they're not going to play their basketball tournament. That's crazy. Well, sure. Then we're not going to play an NCAA tournament. And then we're not going to have any spring sports. And then the Olympics get postponed and the Masters and so on and so on and so on. And now, I mean, everybody was like, surely we'll still have football. And I think the people that looked at it, the pretty sober eye back in the spring and said, we may not, we're the ones that were ahead of the game.
And I also wonder, we're talking to Pat Forty from Sports Illustrated. I'm wondering about these big name players in college football. That are they going to play this season? Would we hold it against them? We have players who sit out a bowl game, but if you're Trevor Lawrence or some of these other players, I just wonder the risk and the reward of playing a season. And do we have players who opt out of the season because they want to get ready for the 2021 draft?
I think we have dozens of them, possibly even hundreds. Who knows? But I think if you feel pretty secure that you are going to be a first or second round draft pick, you're probably out. Other guys, who may be third through fifth round picks, you're like, okay, I want to try to improve my status still. So maybe I want to play, but I think there will be some of them too will say it's just not worth getting injured. I think it's going to be a really, really difficult thing if it's a spring season for schools to be able to put, anything close to a full high-powered lineup on the field. If you are at a Power 5 team with a bunch of pro prospects, it's going to be a major attrition.
What's Notre Dame do?
Well, that's a great question. I wrote about that way back in, was it April or May? I don't know. But I talked to Jack Swarbrick, then the athletic director, and he said that the ACC alliance basically would help them, and it has. They've got 6 games scheduled with ACC teams. They should play all of those. John Swofford, the commissioner, has said that. Navy absolutely wants to play them. That gets them to 7. Beyond that, we'll see. I would imagine Western Michigan is still out there saying, yeah, man, we're scheduled in there. Please let us play. Let us go to Notre Dame Stadium and play that game for the money and the exposure. So maybe that gets you to 8. And after that, I don't know. If it's a spring season, you may not get more than 8, maybe 8 or 9 games.
If I made you the head of the NCAA, Mark Emmert, and you actually had power, what would you do?
That's the thing. This is laid bare how little power they have over anything.
Yeah.
But first of all, what I would do, I would absolutely, there would be uniform testing and eligibility procedures as far as when players could practice, when they could play, when teams could play. Secondly, I would have every conference commissioner in Indianapolis. If the SEC ADs could meet in person today in Birmingham, you could have everybody in Indy and say, we need a completely uniform schedule here. We don't need this conference saying that and this other conference doing something different. We've got to have some sort of unified schedule here that actually is for the good of everyone as opposed to every conference being out for themselves.
Well, we liken it to the 5 mob families, the Power 5, and then there's no boss over those 5 mafia families. That's what you have here.
It is. That's why all of a sudden, Michael Corleone can go settle all family business one day without consulting the rest of them. And it's mayhem. It really is. I mean, we'll see if they actually come to some uniform decision, but there is absolutely no unifying power involved here.
Great to talk to you again, Pat. Thank you.
My pleasure, Dan. Thank you.
That's Pat Forney, covers college sports for Sports Illustrated. They're a senior writer. Yeah, you just start to look at, I'm just being realistic. I know I'm supposed to be optimistic, and I try to be, but I have to be realistic when it comes to this. Of just we're trying to force things through and go back to all of the time stamps that we had with these commissioners. Well, we're going to be back here. We're going to be starting here. We're going to be doing... And you see that it's all fluid, and that's what's happening. And I still think the start of the college football in the NFL season are fluid, and I would not be surprised at all. Here's my surprise, that they start on time. That's my surprise. And if they do, great. I don't have confidence that even if we start, that we're going to finish. Looking at the numbers, looking at the timeline, and trying to be able to pull this off. And the NBA is going to have issues during this pandemic, during this bubble tournament. Can they get through that? You have players who are getting sick. How many players will it take before a team can't really field a team or the team that we expect? What if it's Milwaukee has, the Greek Freak that goes down? You don't get a true representation of how great that team is, or something happens to the Lakers. By the way, Rajon Rondo is out 6 to 8 weeks with a thumb injury. So they've got Avery Bradley that they're without. Now you have Rajon Rondo. And to me, this is all about depth. Going into the bubble, healthy. Those who are healthiest and those who have the most depth are going to be playing for a championship. I mean, it's really that simple, because L.A. doesn't have a home court advantage anymore. They got J.R. Smith. They lose 2 players who contribute quite a bit with Avery Bradley. And plus, I don't want them during the regular season, Rondo and Avery Bradley, but during the postseason, I really want them. And Rondo is a playoff guy. And Avery Bradley gives you that experience as well. I mean, those are 2 losses, big losses for the Lakers here. And, we got a neutral playing field, court, and I just think those who stay the healthiest, those who are the smartest, and those who have depth, you're going to be playing for a championship here. All right, we'll take a break. We'll get to your phone calls coming up, best and worst of the weekend. And, by the way, LeBron did, there was a press conference where LeBron said the NBA is doing everything they're supposed to. Here's a portion of that conversation.
They took all precautionary measures to make sure that we as a league, as safe as we can be. Obviously, in anything that you do, there can be things that could happen, but we will cross that line if it happens. But we're doing everything from a league, from every franchise, to make sure everyone stays safe during COVID, during this pandemic. But I believe in Adam Silver. He has given me no reason to never not believe him since he took over. And I believe in our franchise that we're doing everything that we can to stay safe. So I have no concerns unless concerns was, started to happen, and we cross that bridge if it happens. But I'm here 100% in great health, and I'm looking forward to getting back on the floor.
This is just a little side story, but this will give you an idea of there are going to be players who are probably not going to align themselves with the strict rules and guidelines, because social media, I think, had somebody who was in the import-export business bringing in a girlfriend. And all of a sudden, guys are trying to figure out, wait, who's bringing in a friend?
They call that the fast pass down at Disney. Yeah. You know what I mean? Get you right through the line.
Import-export business. So you're going to have some guys who probably under quarantine.
Who saw that coming?
No one saw that one.
Right.
You have workers there who will leave the bubble, leave the property, and go home. And now you're going to have guys who are trying to get a hookup here and bring somebody in. Can you imagine trying to do that and making sure that nobody sees that? Yeah, Todd.
Do you rat that player out and burst their bubble?
Well, I see what you did with that, Todd. You see what you did with that?
You got to worry about your health. You can't be so worried about
I know.
Those other needs.
No, I know. We'll take a break. We got our play of the day coming up next year on the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan, it's time for one of yours and everyone's least favorite segments. What did you do on your vacation thing? Nobody in this room, I think everyone in this room hates the email I send. Send me a picture of what you did on your vacation, but I make them do it anyway. So this is what your guys did on vacation, a summary, a favorite picture. Now here's me, Dan, cooking over an open campfire. Now, you would assume I just did this so I could get the picture, and you'd probably be about 90% right, but I really enjoyed it. I cooked.
How many days did that take to consume? Don't even tell me that was like a one meal.
That's
for
my
family
family breakfast. Wow. Honestly, that's for myself and my wife.
Nice sized tray you got there.
Yeah, and I cooked over an open flame. Picked that up at Cabela's. It was a lot of fun. It takes a little more work. You got a little prep time, but it was fun. Sean O'Connor.
Yeah, that's my son.
Yeah.
Striping?
Yeah. He in soccer cleats, by the way. We got out a couple times. He birdied a hole, legit birdied it, which means that I'm already the worst golfer in my family again.
If you played heads up right now, who wins?
I think I would get him, but he would probably have better holes than me, just because I can hit it further. But he might, I don't know, it might be a toss-up.
Nothing hurts on him. He doesn't get sore.
Right, exactly.
Little punk. Fritzy, what is this?
I thought this was going to be a miserable experience, but it ended up being one of the strange highlights of the week. We went, my wife and I, we want to update our bathroom. So you're looking at tile and granite and paint and what the floor of the shower is going to look like on the right there.
You participated in this?
I did. I didn't.
Well, you do spend a lot of time in there, so
it's very true. I can't argue that. Might as well look nice.
Yeah.
But it's a very outdated bathroom.
You would have thought.
And my wife said, we need to do this. And last time, for the kids' bathroom, she had to do everything on her own because I didn't go. And she had to run to all these different places. So I said, fine, I'll go. And couldn't even make room for fixtures was another thing that couldn't fit in the picture.
So you're participating in the whole process?
The sinks. Yeah. Tile, paint, granite, floor.
You're doing it all
fixtures.
Yourself?
Yeah, sure. We're going to have someone actually put it in. But we made the decisions together. We went to all these different places. And it ended up being some nice time with the wife picking these things up.
Lovely little Saturday. Bed Bath & Beyond. Don't know if you have time. Andrew, now, what's this?
This is on brand. So I was in the ocean in Long Island, and my shark app started going off. 5 tagged great whites lurking off New York and New Jersey.
Do you think
Did you see them?
I did not see them this time.
Do you think they're following you?
This time. Last year I saw one, but this time I did not see
You're so brave, though.
Wow, listen, no. It was an ugly scene because the kids were like, let's go ride the waves. I'm like, what, are you crazy? You know there are 5 great whites lurking out there? It was...
Is this a great thing for you, so now you don't have to actually enter the water?
Yeah, except my wife is not a fan of having to be out in the water with the kids the whole time. She's like, would you shut up with the shark thing? And I know you're the shark guy on the Dan Patrick Show. Get out there. By the way, I got this headline came out, maybe 25 tweets saying, hey, are you aware of this great white activity? It's taken.
No, you great white
the
activity.
branding is taken.
Because you've seen it. We might be underplaying. We might be underappreciating that Andrew's seen a great white.
He's so brave.
Maybe solid. But by the way, if you guys think I was like up to here in the ocean, you don't think I was looking for fins out there in the water? And you guys know exactly. I mean, who else here was freaked out by sharks? I mean,
extremely.
Oh, I do not want to be eaten alive by a shark.
But look at that.
Whole question.
I saw where Bill Belichick went on tour with the Rolling Stones a couple of years ago. Have you ever thought about doing something like that in the off season?
Well, we went last year when they were in Atlanta. We went to the concert, but I never ever thought about taking the time to do that. But I will say when Bill and I were together in Cleveland, he and I used to sneak out and, go see various concerts. We went to see the Eagles, Joe Walsh, we Ringo Starr. We'd just kind of sneak out and do it every now and then.
Better singer, you or Bill?
I'm a terrible singer, so he got me there.
Doesn't he like to drum? Does he have his own drums, or is he a musician?
Well, I don't know about that. I just know that one of the reasons that I got into sports was my grandma. Grandma Sabin, made everybody play the accordion, all the kids. So I used to hate going to lessons. I used to hate practicing. So I found out about 9 years old that if I played baseball and football and all that stuff, that's the one way I could get out of having to take accordion lessons. That's how I got into sports. But I love music now.
So the accordion is the reason why you're coaching at Alabama?
I think so, indirectly.
Oh my God!
The play of the day.
Runner left side, got it! They're gonna play it and play it.
This is the play of the day.
Check this out. Putter behind the ball. Barely drew the putter back, and here it comes. Now off that shelf and creeping slowly now, picking up pace, rolling down towards the hole, getting closer and into the bottom. Unbelievable. Justin Thomas with a fist pump. He rolls in a bomb from 50 feet on the first playoff hole.
After losing a 3-shot lead with 3 holes to play, Justin Thomas faced off with Colin Morikawa in a 3-round playoff, 3-hole playoff. Morikawa went on to win the Workday Charity Open in Dublin, Ohio. Jack's course, that's courtesy of SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. It's pretty exciting. Got to watch a lot of that over the weekend. I didn't do much on my vacation, in case you were wondering. Here's the big thing I did on my vacation. Get ready for this. I already told you guys. In fact, I told you, and you probably don't realize that was the big event that I had over my vacation.
Oh, you didn't travel? You didn't do home projects?
I didn't go anywhere.
You could give me $1 million right now if I got this right. I wouldn't be able to guess it.
Okay.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
Okay. I didn't go anywhere because I want to stay safe. I didn't do anything. I played 9 holes of golf with my wife. Now, that wasn't the big event. The big event was we ordered pizza from no, hold on, it gets better.
Wild man.
Yeah, this is crazy. We ordered, now New Haven Pizza is the best pizza that you'll find in America, and Pepe's and Sally's, they have modern pizza, there's bar, and so we decided that we were going to order all of the pizzas from each place, and then we were going to have a taste testing competition. It was a pizza slam down, is what we called it.
Slam down.
Yeah. And we got all of the pizzas, and then we had one person who everybody got a slice of each of these pies, and then we rated them, and then we decided who had the best pizza. That was my big event on my vacation. Yeah. Yes, Eaton.
Do you want to give away the winner, or?
I think I think I gave you the winner, didn't I, Paulie?
Yeah. But before we get to the winner,
okay.
How was it? What there's categories like
yes.
Best overall pie, best
crust.
Oh.
Like presentation.
How did you hide the pizza boxes from people and how not to give out the...
They were in the kitchen, and everybody else went into the dining room. And then we had somebody who took out the slices and then put them. Everybody had their individual tray.
Did the people at the pizza places know what was going on? You're a pretty well-known guy. You roll into New Haven.
I didn't go anywhere.
You had a proxy?
Yeah. I sent my daughter. That's why I have kids, so they can go do things for me.
General appearance of the pizza.
Yeah.
Crust.
Yeah.
Quality of toppings and overall taste, which is the most important, right?
Yeah. Seton.
There's already a lot of scuttlebutt about you claiming that New Haven pizza is the best in the country. That immediately set off a firestorm.
I will give New York pizza, and maybe I separate New York pizza because they have more bad pizza. New Haven just has great pizza, but there are some great pizza in Brooklyn and in Manhattan. But if I look at what New Haven offers, nobody comes close to what New Haven offers for pizza per capita, per pie. Yes, McLevin.
Who says, like, oh, this place has the best cheesesteaks per capita? I mean, obviously the best cheesesteaks are in Philadelphia, but if you go to this small town in New Jersey, per capita, you can't throw it per capita.
Okay, New Haven has the best pizza.
That's not true.
In America.
You know that's not true.
That is crazy talk.
In America.
It's not that crazy of a statement. It's really not.
When we talk about pizza, have you guys been to New Haven to eat the pizza?
I have. I've been to Frank Pepe's in New Haven many times.
Okay.
I've had that too.
It's amazing.
Did you have Sally's?
No.
I haven't had salad.
You got to have Modern. Modern's great too.
I think your point about, like, you can go to Brooklyn. If you walk into any pizza place in Brooklyn,
you can get a slice.
It's a 50-50 shot whether it's really good pizza or bland pizza that's been sitting out there all day. In New Haven, you're probably going into a high-end pizza place if you go into one.
Right, but the top 4 or 5 pizza places in the world are like they're either in Italy or Brooklyn.
Or New Haven, trust me.
I mean, like,
no, if
people
you
come from everywhere to go to Brooklyn Pizza.
People come into New Haven just to eat the pizza.
Still, like, Grimaldi's is world famous.
Grimaldi's is great. It is. Bleecker Street Pizza is great. Like, there's John's. There's all these. Keste is another one. Like, there's so many great pizza places. I just think New Haven's got best pizza in America. That's all. My opinion. It was my holiday. It's my story, okay?
And by the way, I'd never go to any of these places in Brooklyn. I'm only going on random articles I've read.
Yeah. Yes, Paulie.
It is funny that McLovin's lived in Brooklyn now for quite a long time, but Fritzy hasn't lived in Brooklyn in about 30 years, but he's defensive about it. And his favorite is
defensive.
Fritzy likes chain pizza.
Yeah, you like Sbarro.
I know, but the Brooklyn, something about Brooklyn pizza. I should be biased because I was born and raised there.
The Brighton Beach Sbarro is the best.
I think you could go to the worst pizza place in Brooklyn and it's still superior to so many parts of the country. I'm not going to say New Haven.
Look at the list. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm, factually incorrect here, but look at the best pizza in America in the rankings and tell me where New Haven ranks. Sally's, Pepe's, Modern. Yes.
You'll probably get, if you look at a top 10, you'll probably get more in New York than in New Haven.
Yep.
But the New Haven will be there 2 or 3 times.
I'm going to guess. Yeah, I'm going to guess 3 of the top 10 are probably New Haven pizza.
And New York has 15 million people. New Haven has a couple 100,000.
Yeah. Yes, Todd.
That's why you got to put the per capita thing in there just to clarify the numbers a little bit, so it's not skewed.
So that was my big story. Okay, I didn't mean to cause a controversy, but that's my big story from my vacation.
A lot of carbs, by the way. I noted
that. I know. I started wearing darker colors because they're slimming. Because I walked in today and Paulie goes, looking slim.
I thought you looked good today.
I'm wearing dark colors.
USA Today top 15 pizza places. Number 1, Frank Pepe's, New Haven. Number 2, DeFera, Brooklyn.
Play of the day, by the way, brought to you by LegalZoom. Need to make it legal? Make it LegalZoom.com. Visit LegalZoom.com today for more information on all your legal needs. Take a break. More on Washington Redskins name change. Coming up, Dan Patrick Show. You can't make this up. Miracles, Memories, and The Perfect Marriage of Sports and Television is now available. We talked about this before, strangest event you ever covered. Now, I always liked ice motorcycle race.
Mm-hmm.
And where was that?
In Zell, West Germany. It's about halfway between Munich and Salzburg, Austria, in the Bavarian Alps.
How do you prepare for ice motorcycle racing?
Well, I prepared by reading all the stuff I had to read. This is on Wide World of Sports, my first year there in 1977. So I was prepared for it. What I wasn't prepared for was Jeff Mason was producing it, and he was our European producer at the time. And, he didn't want me to do a standard, hi, I'm Al Michaels in front of the stands, and, here we are. So he came up with the idea that I should actually get on one of these motorcycles with spikes coming out of the tires it's a speed skating track, quarter mile on a Saturday night. You get 15,000 crazy West Germans and Austrians who've been out in the parking lot with schnapps since about 2 o'clock. And the event's going to start around 7:30 or 8. So I'm the new kid on the block, and he says, would you think about riding a motorcycle down the straightaway, getting off and saying, hi, welcome to Zell, West Germany? I said, fine, I'd never been on a motorcycle in my life. I mean, I grew up in Brooklyn, so I'd been on a Schwinn with training wheels. So now I'm going to be on a motorcycle with spikes coming out on ice on national television. Sure, I'll do it. So at that time, I'm 5'10". At that time, I'm weighing around 180. And they find leathers from a Russian rider who's about 5'6.5" and about 145. So for starters, I'm like this. And then they put his helmet on me, and they put me on the motorcycle. And I got a Czechoslovakian here and a Pole over here and an Austrian. And I got languages, 48 languages in terms of, what I'm supposed to do. I don't have a clue. I don't know whether there's a brake or a gas. I have no idea what a motorcycle is supposed to do or how it runs. So they're yelling at me this and that. And meanwhile, Jeff Mason standing there. Here's the microphone. You go, are you crazy? But, I'm game. And at one point, Dan, so I guess my left hand is turning what would be the accelerators. And now it's revved up at about 18 million revolutions. And I guess in my right hand, I don't know what that is, but I think it's a brake, but it's the clutch. And as I start to let the clutch go out, fortunately, a Russian grabbed my hand and clasped it. So it didn't. Otherwise, I would have been joining Neil Armstrong as one of those who had set foot on the moon. That's how close I came. So we decided this is not such a good idea. So they get me off the motorcycle. We're running out of time. We're late. They put me in front of the stands. They somehow announce in German something, and I've got all these bottles being thrown at me and the whistling. And I went, what the hell did they announce? And Mason had told somebody, the PA announcer, to announce, can you just wait a few more minutes, fans, because American television just needs about 10 more minutes to do some of their work. Oh, yeah, they really wanted to hear that. So I got bottles flying at me. I almost died on the motorcycle. But here I am to tell the story.
And the irony of a Russian actually helping you.
Yes, think about that. And that was 2 years before Lake Placid. Otherwise, I am on the moon.
Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Dan Patrick. I love Dan Patrick. Oh my God, he's one of my favorites.
Welcome back to the Dan Patrick Show, where Dan and the Danettes return.
Hello, little buddy.
And so does sports.
Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball Commissioner. If you have to pause the season, pause. How long can you pause this season?
If we have a team or two that's, really decimated for, any significant period of time, it can have a real impact on the competition. We have to think very, very hard about what we're doing.
Catch up on any guests you missed on the Dan Patrick Show podcast.
The upside is huge.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave.
We would be willing to watch cockroaches play football.
This is Dan Patrick.
Hour 2 on this Monday, Dan and the Danettes, Dan Patrick Show. Well, I've been told to stay in my lane by a couple of people. I had the audacity to say New Haven Pizza is the best pizza you'll find in America.
Stay in your lane, Dan.
Stay in your lane, Dan.
Green Day and pizza, Dan.
Yep. I know nothing about Green Day, and I know nothing about pizza. Stay in your lane. Now, the reason why I brought this up, because I didn't do anything on my vacation. Nothing. And I'm proud of that. Except for one night, we got really crazy at my house. I thought, why don't we get pizza from there's 4 pizza places in New Haven that we go to. Very well known. Sally's, Pepe's, Modern Bar. And I said to one of my daughters, I said, how about you order them, go get them, bring them back, and then we'll have a contest. We'll do a blind taste test with all the pizza. And then we rated it. Appearance, crust, taste, all those things. So that's how crazy my week off got. That was crazy. And I had a couple of beers with the pizza as well. I left that out. But I've been told to stay in my lane when it comes to pizza. And there are great pizza places around America. I'm just talking about if you're looking for pizza and you go into New Haven, the odds are you're going to get now you don't get a good slice. That's the big downer about the pizza in New Haven. If I go into New York or Brooklyn, I can get a slice of pizza.
True pizza places don't sell slices. The high-end ones in Brooklyn and New York do not, like Lombardi's or different places like that in New York. They do not sell slices. The high-end ones.
Really?
Grimaldi's, like McLovin's favorite, they don't sell slices. They sell pizzas.
But I like having that slice.
There's something great about a slice of pizza.
And also, it depends on
paper plate, brown bag.
Yeah. When you have the pizza also factors in. How good? Yeah. At 1 a.m, that pizza tastes so damn good.
Man.
By the way, should we send Mario or somebody out to get some pizza?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. How about Wednesday? It's Pizza Wednesday. You have to have alliteration. I have no alliteration there with pizza.
Can we start Pizza Wednesday on Monday, though? Because
I know.
I'm kind of hungry now.
All right. So welcome to the program. Already in progress. We talked to Pat Forty from Sports Illustrated first hour about college football season, and he's not very optimistic that we're going to get this thing started, and at least started on time. We'll check in with the Washington Redskins. They are set to announce their new team nickname. Who won the poll question from the first hour on what the audience thinks they'll pick?
The Red Tails is a 51%. Second is Generals. What are these people thinking?
You can't have the Generals because, first of all, the Washington Generals, they were always the foils to the Harlem Globetrotters. They always lost. And then people are going to have problems with, well, what Generals are we talking about? What about the Washington Native Americans? How about that one?
This way you keep it in the genre of what they all started with.
Yeah. It's not going to go over well, but Daniel Snyder is bowing to the pressure here, and I think it'll turn out great for him. At least it should, but with Daniel Snyder, it might not. But you're going to get whole new merchandising revenue here. That, to me, it's a windfall with that. You can say to your loyal fan base, hey, I tried, but I was forced to do this. But then you can also say, I'm going to create a whole new revenue stream of merchandise here. And I also think the commissioner is going to get a pat on the back here, too. And I don't know if he's had any real involvement here, but it's under his watch. And I think that he is concerned about his legacy here, other than, hey, I made these guys a whole lot of money. Yes, Todd.
Will they immediately stop selling the old offensive logo? The reason I ask is because people like, whether it's offensive or not, the old school thing, because then they can make money in two ways, the new ones and everyone that's rushing to buy the now old school logo.
I don't know what the market's going to be, but there are going to be people who are still going to wear that logo. They're going to wear that merchandise. The Atlanta Braves are not changing their nickname, but they're reassessing the tomahawk chop. How are you going to police that? I know it sounds good. Like, hey, I just thought that make the logo look proud. You know, the one with the Cleveland Indians, that's embarrassing. The Chicago Blackhawks did it correctly. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. You could be proud of at least seeing what it looks like, the Blackhawk tribe. The Cleveland Indians, it looks like, somebody's ready to attack you. And it's a cartoon character. That was the problem I had with it. But Cleveland Indians are going to change the look of their logo. I don't know if they change the nickname, but yeah. And nobody's going to be happy. There'll be people who are unhappy, I should say, with whatever Washington picks. But you can't have, the monuments. We've been tearing down monuments and statues and what are some of the other names? So Vegas has odds. Red Tails is a nod to the Tuskegee Airmen. I think that's great. Generals, I don't like that. Presidents don't like that. Lincolns, veterans I would be fine with. Capitals spelled with an O instead of an A. Americans, the Washington Americans. Memorials is there. Monuments, kings, can't do kings. Roosevelts, I think we've already had some issues with a Roosevelt, haven't we? Red Hawks, Renegades. Renegades is all right. But that's where we are this morning. And I don't know what's the time frame, but it feels like it's imminent that we're going to be changing that nickname. Yes, Paul.
I'm really curious when Daniel Snyder, the owner of the Redskins, decides to do interviews after whatever name is released, when he's asked the question, why now? And how honest he is. Because like the press release mentions sponsors in the first paragraph.
And he was completely transparent. This is about, they sent out a memo and it talked about, it said sponsors, and then it said, so here's the statement. It says, on July 3rd, we announced the commencement of a thorough review of the team's name. That review is begun in earnest. As part of this process, we want to keep our sponsors, fans, and community apprised of our thinking as we go forward. So sponsors, fans, community, in that order. I appreciate the honesty there, if they even knew they were being honest here. And then at the very bottom of the memo that was put out by the Washington Redskins, enhance the standing of our proud tradition, rich franchise, and inspire our sponsors, fans, and community for the next 100 years. So we'll wait for that. Coming up here, I don't know what exactly is going to happen once we get it, but do we celebrate? Got this from the league office. The owners don't vote on this. The league works with the team on the legal and creative design processes. So the commissioner's involved in this. The league office is involved in this, not the other owners. Although it feels like Jerry Jones is probably involved in everything since he's the most powerful guy in the NFL. Here was another thing I saw. I don't know if this struck you the same way, but Patrick Mahomes making headlines, not with his contract, which I do think is going to be team friendly. I don't know, there'll be a renegotiation, I'm sure, but a couple of years down the road, we're probably going to look back on this contract and go, and I'm saying this hoping Mahomes stays healthy, that this is going to be a team-friendly contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. But the headline that I saw, or at least somebody was trying to make it a headline on the mothership, Mahomes is he wants to go after Tom Brady's 6 Super Bowl rings. And I went, well, I'm going to guess every quarterback does, don't they? That'd be like if LeBron says, hey, I want to go after Michael's 6 titles, is that going to be a headline? Like, do you think LeBron goes, you know what, if I get to 5, I'm done, I'm good. If Mahomes said, hey, if I get 1 more, I'm good. I don't know. Yeah, I saw this and I went, wait, what's the big story here? And it was like, Mahomes says he wants to go after Brady's 6 Super Bowl rings. I'm like, wait, does he actually want Tom's Super Bowl rings or does he want rings of his own? Like, I'm confused what the big story here is. But Patrick Mahomes is going after, breaking news. Patrick Mahomes is going after Tom Brady's rings. 6.
So athletes want to win as many championships as possible before their careers
They
over.
do.
Fascinating.
That's what surprised me. I went, wow, he wants to win.
What if the headline was Mahomes satisfied at 1, looking forward to playing next season just to earn a check? That would be a good headline.
Wild card game next year.
I'm all set, Mahomes says.
Hey, I got 1. I'm here for the money now.
Just got a boat.
Yeah. All right, let me get some phone calls. Best and worst of the weekend, as we always do every Monday. What you saw that you liked, you didn't like. We say good morning to our radio partners, TV partners, Chat Row. And we say hello to Kevin in North Carolina, who leads us off. Best and worst of the weekend, Kev.
Hey, DP.
Hi, Kev.
Hey, man, love the shirt. Got 3 best of the weekend. Got my dad a Traeger Iron 650 and a pair of Raycons, so it was a DP birthday.
Nice.
Number 2, I don't know if you've heard it yet, but this goes with your shirt. James Miller's Origins Chapter 6, Almost Famous Turns 20, is incredible. You got to get him on to talk about that. And number 3, which should have been your play of the day, Bruce Smith, Family Feud,
I know.
Fast Money.
Thank you, Kev. By the way, I'm wearing a Led Zeppelin T-shirt today, and only because it's dark and it makes me look a little slimmer. That's it. I'll play that. We're going to have to bleep out Bruce Smith, the Hall of Famer. He was on Family Feud, and he was there with Michael Irvin, Chris Carter, and I'll play that coming up in a little bit. But I got to make sure that we have Marvin listen to that and bleep out a couple of things. Because a surprising answer from Bruce Smith and an even more surprising response by Steve Harvey. So I'll have that for you coming up. Nick in Arizona. Hi, Nick. What's on your mind today? Welcome to the program.
Hey, DP, 6 feet, 200. Hey, boys, so you're chatting about Redskins. I had a name for you, wanted to get your thoughts. So their unofficial mascot is the pig. So what do you think about the Washington Hogs?
Yeah, it's not a bad one, and a lot of history there. And thanks for the phone call, Nick. I think that's down on the list with Vegas with the odds. Yes, McLovin.
No, Paulie's trying to put down Washington puns onto me.
Yeah, easy, cheesy puns like pork barrel. You know where that phrase comes from. The Hogs. Hogs is not the worst idea. Because then you keep. Here's what I really think. I think Daniel Snyder's not going to change much at all. I think he's going to change just the bare minimum to get this past the goalie and keep all the other stuff, the look and everything else the same.
Well, I think you want to keep something with the R.
Yeah.
The logo, with the Redskins, with the script R.
Can they? If that's no longer the team name.
Well, if you're the Red Tails.
Yeah.
I can keep the R.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen here. And looking at some of the other nicknames, and I don't see any of them that begin. Oh, the Renegades is the only other one I think that has an R in it. The Roosevelts, but the Roosevelts aren't going to make it. Snowflakes is 500 to 1. Yes, McLovin.
Hogs is too. It doesn't work PC wise either. I can't explain why, but you're making fun of the linemen because they were overweight. I don't know. Like every name you can pick apart.
Yeah, but they called themselves the Hogs.
I know. It's just like it's so hard to not pick apart a name right now.
I know. Josh in Turkey. Hey, Josh.
Hey, DP. First time, long time. 5'11", 175.
What are you doing in Turkey?
I live here.
Well, I know, but what do you do in what do you do in Turkey?
I work military.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Glad to have you.
So regarding college football this fall, if there is a season with conference-only play, do you think small schools who rely on the big school income will be forced to financially cancel some sports programs?
Yep.
And then consequently, will this be a step toward the Power 5 secession?
Yeah, I think we're going to have that. And thank you, Josh. Be safe. But it does make sense. I've been saying all along, the Power 5 conferences should just secede from the NCAA. I mean, they control college athletics. Now, I would hope they would still have out-of-conference games that they could play some of these smaller schools, because that's the revenue that will, funnel into all of their sports and keep them afloat. But I think we're eventually going to see the Power 5 conferences be under their own, that you'll have a commissioner of the Power 5 conference schools. I think that's where we're headed. Wes in Phoenix joining us. Hey, Wes, what's up?
Hey, Dan, huge fan, 5'11 and a half, a semi-solid for my age, 210.
Okay.
And I just want to know if you could wish my wife, Tracy, a happy 50th birthday. She's a huge fan. Her birthday's coming up on July 21st. It would make her year.
No, I can't. I can't do it. No. And what's her name?
Tracy.
Tracy, and you said how old she's going to be?
She's going to be turning 50.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say that, though.
She wouldn't mind. And, hey, it's kind of cool. Brian Baumgartner, I actually got him to record a message as well for her. And
wait, you called him before you called me?
Yeah, sorry, Dan. Well, you have to put in a request, and then you have to wait.
Wow.
But he actually, without me even asking, he made a part in the recording about how I should cook her a big thing of chili for her birthday, but make sure not to spill it.
That's great. And I think Brian's going to be on the show the next couple of days. He's got some big announcement here. But,
cool.
Wes, to your wife, happy 50th and many, many more. And you have a great husband in Wes who called in to admit that he thought Brian Baumgartner would be a more important message, and that he gave your age out as well. So, Wes, congratulations and good luck with your home life there.
And hey, real quick, if you guys ever come to Phoenix, I got an idea. It would be a life-size wheel of punishment. I've got it designed and everything. You strap the Danette, or maybe even the big German kid to it. You spin them. There would be a border around it, of course. And wherever their head is at when it stops or when they barf, there you go.
Do you have a picture of it?
I can send either Paulie or Seaton a sketch of it.
Yeah.
But I would have plenty of time to build it before you guys actually get here.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Wes.
Yeah.
Once again, happy 50th birthday. Wes has been listening a long time. Jim in Texas joining us on the program. Hi, Jim.
How you doing, Dan?
Good, sir. What's on your mind?
Why don't they name the Redskins after what it's all about, the Benjamins?
You're right. That is the bottom line. Thank you, Jim. Not a bad idea. I just love that they sent out this memo talking about this thorough process, and they start with sponsors.
Twice.
I know. They start sponsors and then fans and then community. Priorities. More phone calls coming up. People still telling me to stay in my lane on pizza here. How am I doing, Seaton?
That's died down a little bit.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just check the rankings. I'm going to guess 2 of the top pizza places in America are in New Haven, Pepe's and Sally's. Yes, Paul.
Can people be objective this where, like, I don't think Chicago has the best pizza in America. I'd love some places in Chicago, but I think New Haven's better. But people get really defensive, like Fritzy with Brooklyn and other people with where they come from. Can you be objective? Can people be objective?
I don't think so. You become territorial because you'll say, oh, you got to try this place by us. And I get it. But, this is an unscientific survey that we took at my house. Yes, he.
Right. Like, I have a favorite pizza place, but I think it's probably more based on nostalgia and where I grew up.
Yeah.
Than is it actually the best pizza in the world? Probably not, but I would have a slice of it right now.
Yes, McLovin. You're grimacing over there.
No, it's funny. I feel so territorial without any knowledge. I've never gone to any of these places in Brooklyn. I'm Googling them right now. I'm like, what about DeForest? I don't have no idea where it is.
Just to make it sound like you know what you're talking about?
Man, you're not kidding. New Haven dominates these national lists.
Yeah. I'm going to guess 2 of the top 7 or 8 pizza places are in New Haven.
Yeah, Sally's, Moderna. Sorry, is it?
Modern.
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 What is Moderna?
That sounds fancy. That must be like a $15 slice, Moderna.
Isn't that a thing? A restaurant called
Modern.
El Moderna.
Moderna is the big vaccine. They're the company that's coming up with the vaccine for coronavirus.
That's
why they're in my mind.
Yeah, it's modern.
Yeah.
It's modern.
It would be a lot more respected if it was modern, though.
It was, it's true.
But Moderna's in the news all the time. It's a drug company.
How about we all go get a slice of Moderna?
They sell that at Target.
Let's take a break. We're going to check in with the Washington Redskins and get some updates here on what direction we're headed in. And why now for Daniel Snyder? 21 after the hour. This is the Dan Patrick Show. I always tell you, you need to make it legal, make it LegalZoom.com. And they've been partners of ours for over a decade. Visit LegalZoom.com today and make sure you take care of some important things you need to get done. It's LegalZoom.com/Dan Patrick Show. LegalZoom, where life meets legal. And they've been doing this for over 20 years. They have a network of independent attorneys. They don't bill you by the hour. So they're not a law firm, but that's a good thing. You don't have to leave your home, and you don't get charged by the hour. But you want to protect your family. Maybe you're thinking of starting a business, maybe restarting a business, and you don't know the best way to get it done. Don't let the legal questions hold you back. You'll get the right solutions, and they've been dedicated to doing this. You're protecting your family with a will or living trust. You're thinking about the right way to start a business or a DBA, an LLC, nonprofit. LegalZoom has you covered. So visit LegalZoom.com today. Take care of some of the important things you need to get done. That's LegalZoom.com. LegalZoom, where life meets legal. But in the I guess the real world of Al Michaels, do you believe in miracles comes up how often?
A ton. Last night I'm at a book signing, and everybody, I'd say 2/3 of the people in the inscription who bought the books, they say, "Can you write? Do you believe in miracles?" And there are all kinds of pictures that show up of the end of the hockey game. A lot of them were autographed by some of the players, and I get asked a lot.
But you have, it's almost like sometimes a child actor who has this great movie, and then you've moved on from that. So you had this moment in 1980, and you've since done Olympics and Super Bowls, but it still brings you back. Now, is there part of you that doesn't like that, to be brought always back to 1980?
No, and the reason is, Dan, that it brings so much happiness and joy to people. So when people talk to me about it, it's always with a smile, and I remember where I was, or I've told the story to my kids, and then the movie Miracle has helped to perpetuate it. It's a great thing to remember because, if you go back to all the things that you remember, depending on how old you are, I'll never forget where I was. Some people could say Pearl Harbor, Kennedy's assassination, certainly 9/11, all bad stuff.
Yeah.
All terrible stuff. When people say, I remember where I was in Lake Placid, great stuff. It's one of those few things you remember where you were because it was so fantastic. And that's what made it different. And I know for me, look, I've seen it played back 18 gazillion times. I'm in the third person now. I'm like a fan watching somebody else, announce the end of the game. And it's fun. It's great because I see the smiles on the faces of people who just enjoy it so much.
And you hadn't done hockey, though.
One hockey game.
But in a way, could that have benefited you? Was there any benefit to not having done hockey before?
I don't think necessarily there was. Again, this is 1980. It's not like it is right now. Nobody knows who Mike Emmerich is in 1980. There's no cable television to speak of. Hockey was done differently. One of the key things in announcing hockey in the 1980 Olympics was explaining icing and offside. I mean, that's how rudimentary it was. It's not like it is right now, where you're, time and space and the way hockey is televised and analyzed right now. This was a different animal at that point. This was like, hey, folks, we know you don't know hockey, so let me take you inside the game and explain some stuff. And I worked with Ken Dryden, who had just retired the year before after a fabulous and short career as the Montreal Canadiens goalie. So it was nice. We had a nice mix, and, of course, the story was fantastic. But that's the way we went about things. And plus, as a kid who'd grown up in Brooklyn and had gone to Ranger games and before that Rover games, the minor league hockey team here, I knew icing and offside, and that was a big thing for. I'm not sure Cosell or McKay or Keith Jackson could explain it. So that's another reason that I was assigned to hockey.
How many guys wanted the role that you had for the Miracle on Ice?
I'm not sure. I think Keith. I wanted the speed skating because Eric Heiden was going to be the big star of the Olympics, and he wound up winning 5 gold medals. So he was a big star and a huge hockey fan. And he even said that the day after the Soviet game, he was there as a fan. He almost missed the call for his last race because he was so excited he couldn't fall asleep.
But did you try not to do hockey so you could do speed skating?
No. I was hoping I would get speed skating with Heiden. I was pretty sure I wasn't going to get figure skating. That's McKay and Dick Button were doing that for years. Alpine skiing would have been pretty good. That's always a big event. But Frank Gifford and Bob Beatty and the après ski scene and Rune Arledge, buddies with them and the whole thing. So I knew they would be up on the mountain. I didn't want like biathlon, and I didn't want a lot of the cross-country skiing. So when I got hockey, I was pretty excited because, number one, I loved hockey. And number two, a good assignment at a Winter Olympics is indoors because you can dress down. So that all worked out pretty well.
We'll continue with Al Michaels. The book is, you can't make this up, it's Miracles, Memories, and the Perfect Marriage of Sports and Television. Go to rockauto.com, all the parts your car or truck will ever need. Rockauto.com, family business founded by automotive engineers. In 1999, 2 goals in mind. First, to give people direct access to all the parts information hidden in the computer's catalogs behind the parts store counter. This is coming in handy. I'm redoing a 1972 Porsche RS, and just got it painted.
Green, right?
No, I didn't go Viper green.
You were,
No, I know.
It's major news.
Major.
You know why? Because it screams, here I come. And you know that's not the way I roll. This is, I think I already told you what the color was. You'll never guess the color.
Last we heard was Viper green.
Stone gray. Oh. Stone gray. Which sounds like a TV name. Who was that? Stone Phillips. That's the guy. I'm Stone Phillips. For all of us here at Dateline, we'll see you again on Tuesday.
Good hair.
Yeah. Oh, and didn't he play football at Yale?
It's a strong jawline on that fellow.
I think Stone Phillips was a quarterback at Yale.
Not with that name. Man.
I'm Stone Phillips, and you're not. But stone gray is the color of the Porsche. I'll send you some of the pictures here.
Home
and then
stretch?
You can put it out. Yes, Tom.
But isn't part of the reason you get a Porsche is that's kind of has a look at me already, so you might as well go all in and get a crazy bright Viper green color.
It's just too bright. It is. It's way too bright. But RockAuto.com has been helping me with parts that are delivered right to your home, and you don't waste time and money hunting for the parts, phoning, driving, waiting in lines, and make sure you tell them we sent you. All the parts your car or truck will ever need at RockAuto.com. More phone calls coming up. Best and worst of the weekend. Also, the unfortunate slip-up by Bruce Smith, the Hall of Famer, and that was on Family Feud. We'll have that for you coming up. John Keim covers the Washington Redskins for the Mothership, kind enough to join us this morning. John, you have to come up with new business cards.
There's a lot of things that we're going to have to come up with here. It's going to be very weird because I've covered this team for a long time. And so people ask you, what do you do? I write about the Washington Redskins. Now it's going to be like, well, what do you write about? The Washington who?
Yeah.
So it's going to be very, very different and take some getting used to for a lot of people.
Why now?
Well, I think you can go back to the George Floyd death while in police custody and go and start from there, because we've all known for a while that there was pressure on this team to change the name for a while, and it wasn't really going anywhere. The pattern in the past was weather the storm, get to the quiet part, and just, survive the controversy. Well, after that point, we all saw what was happening in society and the protests, the riots, statues coming down, flags, the Confederate flag not being flown anymore at NASCAR and all that. So I think that led to groups feeling like there was a window open of opportunity that had never existed before. And then they started going after sponsors. And once you start doing that, Dan, as you know, that's when you get things done. And I think that's been the difference here. When it came out that Adweek had done a story about the letter that investors and shareholders sent to PepsiCo, Nike, FedEx, when that came out, I talked to somebody who had worked for this place for a while, knew the situation well, and his response was, holy crap, this is different.
Yeah, it feels different, and by all accounts, the reports are that they're going to change the name this morning. What are the options that you've heard? And I'll give you my logic of what I think it's going to be.
Well, I think the one that kind of jumps out right away is Warriors, only because Dan Snyder used to, when he first bought the Redskins, he also bought the rights to an Arena Football League franchise team if they came to Washington. He then wanted to trademark the name Warriors, even had some logos designed. I think it was a spear on the helmet and all that. So if the name is changed quickly, that to me would be the leader in the clubhouse. Now, as far as I know that there are some, Ron Rivera said, and I think others there, I know that there's some other names that they might like. That's the only one that I think I know for sure would be an option. I think if you talk to fans, the name that they jumped on lately is Red Wolves. And I actually did a little Twitter poll a couple of days ago. I think it was almost 17,000 votes, and more than 40% wanted Red Wolves. So I think Red Tails was a name that was discussed. I don't know that they go in that direction. One of the things I think that was important to them was initially wanted to maintain some connection to Native Americans, but also the military and maybe war. That's why I keep leaning toward Warriors. I don't know that for sure, but that's where I lean.
I thought that's something that started with an R, therefore you could keep the script
Right.
R that the Redskins have
Right.
and keep a little bit of that tradition, but Red Tails or Renegades or Red Wolves would be where I would lean. What do you think of that logic?
Yeah, and I think there's some definite logic there, because one of the things that they also want to do is maintain some traditions. I was told that the plan as of now is to keep the burgundy and gold colors, big part of the tradition. Another part is the marching band. And then also they love the phrase, the fans love the phrase HTTR, Hail to the Redskins. So if you can maintain some of that, and I think you can get that. So yeah, I can see that as well. I think Warriors, again, I still lean toward that, but I think your logic is correct. And then you could come up with a logo that has a script on the helmet.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan tuning in and you don't know the name has changed, maybe you can forget for a minute if it was that important to you that it still is the same franchise you're rooting for.
How does this go wrong?
I've covered this team for a while. A lot of things can always go wrong. I think the way it could go wrong is if you rush into a branding situation with the logo. I don't think you want to rush into that. And when I've talked to people about that process takes a long time. I think that's the important thing to get right here is what is that logo going to be like? Don't rush it. There has a feel of a fire aim ready to this, in part because of the way this is all unfolded. This isn't something that going into the offseason, Dan Snyder had a plan on doing. It was kind of forced upon him for whatever reason, because like we talked about earlier. So I think if you rush it, that's where you can get into trouble. This is a monumental thing. And how sports fans are with these teams. And you also know that in 15, 20 years, whatever you decide now is what people will identify with. So take your time and get it right.
Yeah, my whole thought with this is it's always the bottom line. It's about money. Even the memo they sent out starts with thanking, sponsors, fans, community in that order, John. And then I think of this as Daniel Snyder can still say to his loyal fan base, I tried, but I couldn't. They wouldn't allow me to keep it. And you get this whole revenue stream of new merchandise here. So I think Daniel Snyder is going to do well with this. Go kicking and screaming, sort of, but also, hey, now all of a sudden I got a whole new revenue stream that I never thought I was going to be getting.
Yeah, and I think that's what people have long been trying to tell him, those who wanted to change years ago, that you can benefit financially from this. Now, obviously, there's going to be a cost involved. You're going to have to changing all the signage, the merchandise, everything is going to be probably more than $10 million. So there's going to be a cost, but and you're going to get fans. Like I've heard from fans who say, I won't root for this team again. I think it's a small percentage, but that group exists. I also wonder, Dan, too, who jumps on board with this, because there are a lot of people in the Washington area the last few years. They haven't exactly been flocking to games here because the team it's not about the name. It's about the team not being good. Maybe with the new name comes some new energy for some people who were maybe not on board with it before. So I think that there is a potential. And you may have people who say, hey, because they changed it, now I'm going to support them. I'll go out and buy the gear. And that's why I go back to the logo and the branding. If you get that right, you can really cash in that regard.
John, thanks for joining us. I know it's a busy time for you. We appreciate it. Hope you're well.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
That's John Keim. He covers the Washington whoever for the mothership, and still waiting word. I like Red Tails, something that has an R in it, and then I think you can still keep that script R. By the way, last time the Washington Redskins were in the conference title game. Anybody want to wager a guess? Washington Redskins. And can you name the quarterback? The coach was Joe Gibbs. Yes, Paulie?
I don't know the year, but Jason Campbell's name came to mind. He was pretty good, but I don't think he got that far.
Mark Rippon, 1991. Only 5 franchises have failed to reach a conference title game going back to 1991. The Bengals, the Browns, the Lions, Texans, and, of course, the Redskins are in there as well.
Stat of the day, stat of the day, stat of the day, stat of the day. Here comes that what? Stat of the day. Top.
Yeah, you can have a new logo, you can have a new nickname, but if you're the same old Redskins, it's not going to matter. It's like putting earrings on a pig. It's a pig with earrings on. It's not a good team, not a good franchise. It's not well run. Yes, Todd.
That would be putting earrings on a hog, I guess.
Okay. All right. I got that. The red wolf is a canine native to southeastern United States, which has a reddish, tawny color to its fur. Kind of like a coyote and gray wolf combo platter. Very closely related to the eastern wolf of eastern Canada. I like using the word indigenous. Is the red wolf indigenous to Washington, D.C.? I don't know what it means. I just like using that word indigenous. Like there are a few words. What are some words that come to mind that you use and you're not quite sure, but it sounds really impressive when you do? Yeah, Paul.
I'll throw in a juxtapose every once in a while.
Conundrum.
Yeah.
Conundrum. I'm not afraid to go conundrum on. I went conundrum last night. Indigenous.
When there's a situation, I like to use exacerbate. I'm not exactly sure what it means, but I think I know how to use it.
Exponentially. Yes, McLovin.
I like cognitive dissonance, and Paulie's and I am too, an abjudicate. And I don't really know what that means exactly. Like whenever there's a sports law story, we adjudicate.
Adjudicate.
Does this mean to try in court, I guess? I don't know.
You got one, Seton?
No, but I think of Andrew every time I hear someone say it's a fait accompli.
That was big in 2012 for him.
There was a run there.
Fait accompli,
yeah. Todd?
I'm stumped. I wanted to have one. You know how much I like to be part of these little puzzle and word
Some of us
games.
don't have great vocabularies. We're very limited in our words.
Thanks, Todd. Oh, you were saying you, Seton.
Yeah, I was saying me.
I thought you meant...
Toddler's right there with me.
Todd's biggest word is Cinemax.
That is a big word.
Spectravision. When we come back, speaking of going blue, Family Feud with Steve Harvey and then Bruce Smith. We're going to play the feud. Did we find out how the Buffalo Bills got their nickname, McLevin? Is it because of Buffalo Bill?
We have not found that out yet.
Did you look
I did not. I was too busy looking up the genealogy of the red wolf.
Red wolf? Red wolves? Right. We'll see if you can find that. I think it's because of the...
I started looking it up, but then stopped.
That kind of sums up our research department here.
We started, but then stopped.
I looked. It wasn't exactly a direct order, in fairness to you. Yes, McClellan.
Didn't the Browns have a vote to Cleveland? The name of Cleveland, they had like a citywide vote, and they chose Browns, but Paul Brown didn't want it, and then he went to Cincinnati anyway. Isn't there a big backstory about that? I remember you telling us about that.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, like all these names are stupid. Browns, that's a terrible name for a team.
Yes,
I'm looking at something that says the owner, after 1 year, had to name the team contest in hopes of choosing a more distinctive nickname. Bisons had been the traditional nickname for Buffalo teams for many years, but their winning choice was Bills, which was a play on the name of the famed Wild West showman Buffalo Bill Cody.
Oh, okay. By the way, did you see where the Toronto Blue Jays... yeah, that's right. There's still a possibility of a baseball season. The Blue Jays they need to find a place to play baseball. That they're not allowed to play in Toronto, their games. And they're looking at Buffalo, which is their minor league affiliate. And I guess they just started looking into this because I think the Canadian government is not letting the Toronto Blue Jays play games, have teams come into Canada. So they're looking to play in Buffalo. Yep, we got this all figured out. What could go wrong? Yes, Todd.
Because nobody circles the wagons like the Toronto Blue Jays.
Thank you, Chris Berman. I was watching, what was it, last Sunday, where Chris Berman came on, and I saw, on my DirecTV where it said 8 o'clock, the Eagles at the Forum. And I'm going, okay, ESPN, and what are the Eagles doing at the Forum? And then I realized it's the band, the Eagles, at the Forum. And Chris Berman comes on and gives an introduction. He goes, hey, it's not the Eagles, Chuck Bednarik. And I went, so Chris is at his home somewhere, and he's introducing the Eagles with a concert that had already happened at the Forum. And I think it was 3 hours long, this concert on ESPN. That was Sunday night programming for the mothership.
You can check out anytime you want.
You can't leave. And he was doing, Chris is doing all of his Eagles puns and play on words and then showing when Glenn Fry was on the Schwam at the Super Bowl. What's this song where he in a pickup truck turned around to take a look at me, take it easy? And what's that place in Arizona? Standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona? Yeah. And so he did one so Chris replayed that from, I don't know how long ago that was, where he shows up. And Chris does that wide-eyed surprise, like, it's Glenn Fry. I'm going, Chris, I'm sure that he just didn't show up and surprise you. It's Glenn Fry.
It was me, a camera crew.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. More phone calls coming up right after this.
Nice last night, not too humid. Terrible shot. Yeah! Oh man, I am stiff. Daniela Gleiston's the rebound.
If we don't get straight hand right here, it'll be just the last segment.
Okay.
We'll know in about 3 minutes.
Okay. Season's been on fire lately. Unfortunately, we're going to play in the wind on a double rim, so none of this will make any difference whatsoever.
Double rim.
I'm just getting in your head. Double rim's the worst.
Double rim, a lot of vibration there.
Yeah, you got to sort of swish it or you're dead.
Yeah. You're not going to get a friendly bounce.
Never.
You're not going to get a shooter's roll.
See, this is unbelievable.
Coral.
Man! You reach, I teach. That ball has no air, Dan. We should have told you that before you started.
It's all right.
Okay, good carpenter never blames his tools.
Oh! It's up there on the screen.
Dude, are you? Come on.
What? You sound surprised.
Dude, what? Look, here it is again. What, dude? Did you see that?
Yes, it was like a top spin banker.
Ridiculous.
So last night on Family Feud, it was NFL Rising Stars against Hall of Famers.
Wait, I thought we were going to do this on the air.
Well, we wanted the visual.
Yeah, but you get the visual aspects of the reaction.
Okay, so then we have to act like we haven't seen it.
Exactly.
When we play it in about 5 minutes.
Well, I'd ask you to do
Okay.
that. And you have very good acting skills. So
Okay.
You'll be able to pull it up. So Rising Stars against the Hall of Famers, and we always like wacky moments from game shows, and this will definitely go down in history.
If Captain Hook was moonlighting as a handyman, he might replace his hook with what tool?
A hammer.
Try again.
A penis.
Tell me the age a kid is too old to sleep with a what?
Why did you say that?
There's a lot of other tools.
Why did he say that?
Yo, come on, we can't start this again.
Why did you say that?
You got Michael Irvin, Chris Carter, Orlando Pace, Kevin Green on your team.
I'm sorry.
We can't go again.
I'm sorry.
Let go. We can't
I'm
do it
sorry.
again. Let go.
I'm sorry. I swear I'm sorry. That just came out. I don't even know where that came from. I was reading the question and then I said, what?
That was great.
Why did he say that?
That is a bizarre answer.
Where did that come from? What? 20 other tools.
Why did he say that?
Throwing a wrench.
Wait, why did Bruce Smith say it, or why did Steve Harvey?
No, I know why Steve Harvey said
Yeah.
that. Why did Bruce Smith say that?
Like if you said, give me a list of tools.
Well, that's like Ben Roethlisberger.
Right.
Well,
But if I said, give me a list of tools, and I said hammers off the table, you can't. How far down the list do you have to go to drop the P?
Well, hammer is up on the screen, and he still said hammer.
why did he say that?
You're gonna, instead of a hook, you're going to have a penis.
Why did he say that? Why did he say that?
Wasn't that Casey and Nick's big thing?
We will give you our best and worst of the weekend. Coming up, more phone calls as well. Update the poll results, McLovin.
What name do you like for the new Washington team? The Red Tails is first, and the Generals somehow is still Maintaining second spot.
I just can't imagine in this politically correct world trying to get the Generals passed here. I just don't see that happening. And you had the Generals, that played against the Harlem Globetrotters. Didn't you have the Generals from the USFL? Oh, those were the New Jersey Generals with Doug Flutie. Okay. What was Washington's name with Craig James?
Washington Federals?
Yeah. Oh.
Was that Craig James?
I
think so.
I think so. But Washington Generals, that one feels like you're going to get some pushback on that.
Can we do an hour on USFL names? That'd be great.
Ooh. Yeah, we would probably do pretty well with USFL names and players who played in the USFL. All right, saw this, and I was really surprised at Bruce Smith, the Hall of Famer. He was on Family Feud, and this was the Celebrity Family Feud, the Sunday episode. And he's up there, Chris Carter, Michael Irvin, and they're going against rising stars in the NFL. And you had the following question asked by Steve Harvey to Bruce Smith.
If Captain Hook was moonlighting as a handyman, he might replace his hook with what tool?
A hammer.
Try again.
A penis.
Tell me the age a kid is too old to sleep with a what did he say?
No, come on, we can't start this again. We can't, come on now. We can't go again.
I'm sorry.
We can't go again.
I'm sorry.
Let go. We can't
I'm
go
sorry.
again. Let go.
I'm sorry. I swear I'm sorry. That just came out. I don't even know where that came from. I was reading the question, and then I said, what?
I don't know what's more surprising. I guess Bruce Smith, what could you possibly be thinking? A handyman, and you're going to replace his hook. I got to believe there's a few other tools that you could have mentioned other than your personal tool.
Why did he say that? I don't understand. Why did he say that?
What was going through his mind where you're going through kind of the Rolodex of tools that you could have Captain Hook use, and he went with the penis? I guess I know exactly what was going through his mind. And then Steve Harvey, it's like 3 or 4 seconds on delay, and he's like, wait, what? What the bleep did you say? Yeah, Paul.
When you're in the garage with Bruce Smith, don't ask him to hand you a tool. What is this, Bruce?
Yeah, I'm working on my car.
I need a wrench.
Bruce, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, not that hammer. Not that hammer, Bruce. Gee whiz.
Hammer time.
Yeah, remember Big Shank? Remember we had him on because speaking of hammers. You're like, so what's your nickname? What was it? Vicente Chianco?
Tight end. Oh, yeah.
The tight end.
The Vikings?
Yeah, and they showed him like one of those post-game things.
Yes.
The video there they had in the locker room, and he's standing there, and he's clearly naked and very visible. And we had him on the next day, and you're like, so what's your nickname? And it was Big Shank. No kidding.
I think you asked him, had it always been your nickname or just recently?
Vicente Shanko?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I think I thought I gave him another nickname, like the utility belt or something. I forget what I said to him as a nickname, and then he said Big Shanks.
Steve Harvey's reaction, though, is so funny.
Oh.
His face. He always makes that face, and damn, is it funny.
Oh, that's good. All right, we'll give you our best and worst of the weekend coming up. It's good to be back. It is. It's good to be back. Yes, Todd.
I love those moments on game shows.
Steve Harvey has a few of those hanging on.
Again, I didn't raise my hand. He calls on me, and I got to come up with it.
You haven't raised your hand today.
I haven't. I just kind of
and you lean into your microphone. So
Orlando Pace and Kevin Green. There's some interesting choices for the 5 Hall of Famers.
Thank you, Tom. All right, 2 hours in the book. One more to go. Seton, Paulie, Fritzy, McLovin, yours truly here on the Dan Patrick Show. But when you played against somebody, do you remember? Well, you had the Bird Night.
I had the Bird Night. That was a tough night, man. The biggest argument that night is, well, you only scored 6 on me.
But nobody was guarding Bird, were they?
Well, we were trying.
You were trying to.
No, but when a guy is literally coming up the court, calling his shots, and Bird talked a lot of trash.
And that's in New Orleans.
That's in New Orleans. In that game, we're on the free throw line. And he literally says, left side across the 3, and you're listening to him. That's a tough feeling.
But, okay, so you guys got Antoine Carr and Cliff Levingston got fined by Fratello, I think.
And Eddie Johnson for celebrating.
Celebrating Bird.
Yeah, it was the best film session. Every time when I see Mike, we still laugh.
God,
it was
good.
The greatest film session ever, because back then you didn't have, you watched the real game and just went, with a video, and Mike rewound the celebration 20 times. He just kept, not the shot, he just kept rewinding it, showing the guys, you remember they're giving each other high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench.
Yeah,
too.
that was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter, and Antoine Carr and Cliff gives each other high five. And our film session was 20 minutes of that. So it was.
It wasn't somebody not playing good defense on Bird. It was you guys celebrating Larry Bird.
And Fratello wouldn't let it go. It just kept rewinding. And it was.
I think Bird went by the bench one time too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in it. He literally said, "Off the glass into the trainer." And,
No way.
Yeah, and so it was a bad night.
We're going to Jim Nance's house for brunch today.
Oh, are you? Super.
Yeah, any advice?
Any advice? Don't, whatever you do, when he goes to the fridge door, he'll open the door and the light will come on, and he does 45 minutes. It's like, hello, friends. Good morning, eggs. Jeez, Jim, I'm over here. Come here. And he makes a Nance omelette. He has a Nance omelette. It's special recipe. I think it's probably on the wall on the menu of the day.
Now, do we have to wear like sweaters and plaid and trousers?
Oh, you know what sweater you now have to wear. You have to go with your Whale of a Time sweater. You know what I mean?
Got to get a cardigan or something there.
Cardigan.
Now, how about this idea? You press the doorbell, and it says, "Hello, friends."
Probably, yeah. And we have the Masters music. It's the Masters
like, as soon as you go in, is that the only song that plays in the
That's it. That's it. We just have the Masters theme.
They don't have Spotify or Pandora. It's just the Augusta theme
straight
song.
To the Masters.
Does he have
theme.
Dogwoods and azaleas over there?
Yeah, white dogwoods from the 11th hole. Yeah, magnolias.
I like
course,
that.
Yeah.
And doesn't he have the putting green of
number 7?
It's number 7.
Here.
Oh,
7 here. It's a copy of the 7th green.
Oh,
because
I thought it was 12 at Augusta.
And Courtney got entwined on the 7th. We were there for the wedding. It was fantastic. But so he's got a little replica, a bit like this size, a little bigger than this, double this size, with, of course, the 4 championship hole locations.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you go back and you play this. It's a really cool golf ball. It's, you chip it from 40. It's about 45 yards long, and you chip it, and the thing flies like a wedge shot, 40, and you make hole-in-ones. And he's got a hole-in-one board. So go and make a hole-in-one, and you'll get your name.
I'm on the board?
Yeah, you'll be there.
Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Dan Patrick.
I love Dan Patrick. Oh my God, he's one of my favorites.
Welcome back to the Dan Patrick Show, where Dan and the Danettes return.
Hello, little buddy.
And so does sports.
Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball Commissioner. If you have to pause the season, pause. How long can you pause this season?
If we have a team or two that's, really decimated for any significant period of time, it can have a real impact on the competition. We have to think very, very hard about what we're doing.
Catch up on any guests you missed on the Dan Patrick Show podcast.
The upside is huge.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave.
We would be willing to watch cockroaches play football.
This is Dan Patrick.
It's good to be back. Final hour on this Monday. Dan and the Danettes, Dan Patrick Show. We thought we were going to get a new nickname for Washington's football team, and I don't think it's going to happen today. At least word is starting to circulate that there's some trademark issues, that when the Redskins first broached this topic and some of the names came out, potential nicknames, some people probably scooped them up and are squatting on those names. At least that's what we're being told right now. But the Redskins were going to make that announcement, first reported by Sports Business Daily, the official announcement, the new name, but there are trademark issues pending. Last week, Adam Schefter reported the franchise would not use any Native American imagery. Washington's logo of an American Indian chief had been designed by a Native American in 1971. Another source told ESPN the plan as of now is to retain the franchise's use of burgundy and gold colors. Ron Rivera, the coach, had said the team wanted to include the military in its new name as well. That's where I think Red Tails makes the most sense, because I don't have to change much. I can still keep that script R in the logo. I keep the colors, but I get a whole new revenue stream with merchandise here. But I still go back to this memo that came out because it tells you everything about Daniel Snyder and really what's behind this change. Statement from the Washington Redskins football team. The review has begun in earnest. As part of this process, we want to keep our sponsors, fans, and community apprised of our thinking as we go forward. Now, you might have thought it would have been fans, community, sponsors, but this is all about the bottom line with Daniel Snyder. And they go on to end the memo, developing a new name and design approach that will enhance the standing of our proud tradition, rich franchise, and inspire our sponsors, fans, and community for the next 100 years. So we're waiting for this probably another day when Washington will have a new nickname there. That's our poll question. What name should Washington go with, McLevin?
Yeah, Red Tails running away with it. Generals are second. I don't think they're, except for Red Tails, none of these are very strong.
I like Red Tails because, you're acknowledging the military. The Red Wolves, I could see that, where you could still keep the R in there. I don't get the Generals, because haven't we had issues here with monuments and generals, and I don't think you need to go down that road. But Warriors, I think, I would probably handicap it and say Red Tails and then Warriors. Yeah, Todd.
Do you have to call heads or Red Tails at the Washington games going forward?
Okay, I like that. You're back.
Slightly. I'm getting there. Yeah. Crawling.
All right, so that's the poll question. How about best and worst of the weekend? Go around the room. Todd, I'll start with you.
Okay, my best of the weekend was, I thought I was going to hate it, but I actually enjoyed checking out granite tile fixtures and paint for the master bathroom. We're redoing the bathroom in our house, and I thought this was going to be a horrible errand to run, but it was nice bonding time with the wife, and took over about 2-3 days to go to these different places, and we had a good time. My worst, more and more pessimism about not only when college football can start and who will play whom, but if there'll even be a season at all.
Yeah, and look, I'm probably in the minority with this, but I've been in the minority because I'm realistic about it. I'm optimistic, but now it's just being realistic about it. I just have serious doubts about football starting on time. Even the bubble. By the way, I know that these aren't ideal conditions for these players. I understand that. I don't want to hear complaints about food. It's like when we go to the Super Bowl and you hear somebody complain that it's not sunny. Or when we went to Dallas and it was snowing and freezing. I told the Danettes, no one complains about the weather. Embrace it. We get a free trip to the Super Bowl. Don't complain. You get paid to go to the Super Bowl. And I got J.R. Smith, who's lucky to be on a roster, and he's the one that's complaining about what his meal looks like. I don't know. Is that meal any better than the meal you would have had if you're not on the Lakers and nobody cared? You didn't have to sign. You get a chance to win a championship. We know it's not ideal. We know there are issues. We know there are risks. We get that. We understand it. By the way, the Lakers without Rajon Rondo, and this won't make the headlines because of other headlines that are happening here, but Rondo, that's a big loss. Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo, and I consider those big playoff losses, not a regular season loss. If you lost them during the regular season, it's not that big a deal. This is a big deal because this is about attrition. How can we stay healthy? And you got to have depth. So if everybody stays healthy, then those teams that you expect to be great are going to be great at the very end. Did you see the story about Dwight Howard? The league, they wanted to have some entertainment for the players. And on Saturday night, the NBA brought in 3 disc jockeys to spin records at poolside parties at the 3 Disney hotels that are housing the players. No one showed up. And Dwight Howard said that he was the only one there. At what point does Dwight Howard think I'm being punked? Yeah. Hey, this is a kicking party here. Where is everybody? So the NBA had those disc jockeys there, and there's Dwight Howard. So just the thought of Dwight Howard sitting by himself at a DJ party.
Where is everybody?
So here's a guy, 6'10", shorts and sandals.
First one here.
Yeah. Now, if he's dancing by himself, then that's really sad.
He's doing that awkward walk around the pool. Yeah. No one's there.
Yes, McLovin.
Just to clarify, by the way, so I don't think families are down yet. So this would be a bunch of NBA players standing around dancing to random disc jockeys together?
Yeah, I don't know what the NBA was thinking there.
But even if people did show up, all guys are just going to sit around and dance to DJs alone at the bubble?
I don't think they're that starved for entertainment yet. Yes, Paul.
There's a DJ, there's drinks, there's a beautiful pool. There's no women there. They're not going there. That's why you don't go to a club. You tell me when you're 22, there's a club. Hey, they got a great DJ playing tonight. No women.
Hey, what do you guys want to do later? You feel like going dancing? What?
Go Manson.
Yeah, you guys want to go? Hey, how about later on tonight we'll hit dinner and
just
then
us.
Let's just go dance for a little bit, just us 5. It'll be fun.
Yeah, when you're at a Velvet Rope Club and they're like, wait, you got 5 dudes? Get on in here through this Velvet Rope.
I know.
Come on, man. This is where it's at.
When I went to clubs, at least there were women present. I had no chance with them. But they knew that too.
Just what we needed. More guys.
Yeah.
Come on in.
I've been there before when the bouncer is looking at you and then he looks right through you because you have no chance of getting in.
They look over your head.
Yeah.
Can't see you.
Like I stood on my tiptoes to get into a club in New York because I didn't think the guy could see me because he kept looking around and I just got up on my tiptoes and I became 6'5", and I still didn't get in. And then there were some women I worked with at CNN who came, and then we got in. And I always wanted to be the guy behind the velvet rope when that bouncer is the guy who wants to get in. And then I just look around. It's usually a guy with a ponytail, and of course he knows all the girls' names. Hi, Sally. Hey, Debbie. Hey, what's going on, girl? I'd be like, hey. And I was going to the Limelight, so that famous disco in the 80s, Limelight. And I'll be damned, I couldn't get in to save my life. I'm still waiting. There's no velvet rope. I still can't get in. McLovin, best and worst of the weekend.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to give away my shot to do the best of the weekend. Hamilton on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Watched it 3 times. Guess I'm alone.
Original cast.
Yeah. I had not seen the original cast, by the way. They're pretty good. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So my worst is going to be Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. It's a new hot show. It's a recreation of the 80s show. It was really entertaining, but you forget they're unsolved. So all weekend long, you're walking around, sitting around, thinking, what happened to Ray Rivera? The unsolved part of it is very, very frustrating.
Oh, they're still unsolved?
Yeah, they're still unsolved. They're new cases. It's a bunch of new cases. The first one is getting a lot of attention about this guy who fell off a hotel roof. If you watch it, you want to solve it, but there's just, I don't know. It's pretty good. It's like, like everyone's watching these Law and Order shows now.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
you're watching, but they don't get solved?
They don't get solved. They're unsolved mysteries. So the point is the viewers all get together.
That's the title in the
They
title.
all get together and they give clues. So they're putting it out there. If you recall this it was a big show a long time ago. So they're looking for somebody who saw something that can help and call this number.
Oh, well, that was where you had, didn't that take place in Canada? Where you had the Catwoman who was,
it's very similar to that.
What was the name of that?
Don't blank with cats.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't blank with cat people.
Well, that's the Internet Sleuths, and there's an HBO documentary about that now too. About how Internet Sleuths got that California killer.
Oh yeah, I mean that one's crazy.
This is more like traditional. Remember those shows? If you saw anything, call this number.
John Walsh,
yes.
America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, it's like that. It's a recreation of a show like that. So yeah, we can. If you guys watch this, we'll sit around and solve the mystery.
Yeah, that'd be great. Do you have a worst of the weekend?
That was my worst.
Oh, that's your
the
worst.
Unsolved.
Oh, the
natures.
unsolved. Okay.
I'm like, why aren't they solving them? Oh yeah, it's in the title.
Yeah, it'd be called Solved Mysteries. Seton O'Connor, best and worst.
I don't know if this is best or worst, but I feel like we're grossly underpaying. Oh, that's a Freudian slip. Patrick Mahomes' contract? Holy smokes, dude.
That was pretty quiet.
What?
Right? We were off last week, but that when you saw 10 for 500, because I think initially I thought he's going to be a $50 million. Well, he is if you average it out, 10 for $500 million, that he's going to be a $50 million a year quarterback. I think this is going to be, if he stays healthy, this is going to be it's like Bryce Harper. I don't know where Bryce Harper is going to be in the next 3 years with his salary. But we might look back, and McLovin pointed this out. He's like, look, this is not we'll look back on this and go, boy, they got a bargain with Bryce Harper. And it's a sellable guy, marketable guy, very talented player. And Mahomes, I thought he could have gotten more money. And I don't know why he signed a 10-year deal. Like, why not go 4 years and then crush it again? Why not go 4 for 200 and then come back and go 4 or 5 for, 300 or more than that?
That's the same amount of money.
Well, even more money.
Less years, I guess.
Yes. And he might be playing for a different team. I mean, who knows if Kansas City, what that roster is going to look like playing for Super Bowls. Yeah, Paul.
I saw a couple analysts that said this is a team-friendly deal for a couple of reasons, because Mahomes is long-term, but also being long-term, every 2 or 3 years, he could do a restructure that just moves the money to the end. He still gets the money, but then allows them to sign like a tight end for $8 million in the offseason.
Yeah. You are right with your math there, Seton. I'm going, do 4 years, and that's 200.
Yeah, do 200 and then 300, more money.
And then it's 500. Yeah.
It's funny, too. I was sitting here, and I was just like, wow, I added that wrong? I guess,
What's your worst of the weekend?
I don't. It's just that contract is either my best or my worst. I don't even know. Because it's great that he got paid all that money, but how the hell did he get paid all that money?
And quietly.
Yeah.
Because there was no deadline there. Dak Prescott's got a deadline here on Wednesday. And I think when everybody saw the Mahomes deal, they were like, the great news for Dak Prescott. I don't know if it's necessarily great news for Dak Prescott because he's not in that category. Deshaun Watson, it feels like, might benefit from that. Yes, McLovin.
Did LeBron do a series? He never signed up for 10 years. He could have made all that money, but he always bet on himself and got massive deals, right? I feel like NBA guys never get trapped in that huge thing.
Well, also, he jumping teams. You don't want to get locked into a deal. Therefore, he wanted to go from Cleveland to Miami, to Cleveland to L.A. Mahomes, a 10-year, $450 million extension. So he'll earn at least $477 million. Okay. I know.
I wonder what Bruce Smith thinks of that deal. Penis.
We were joking that if Bruce Smith, the Hall of Famer, goes out and he gets nervous, he just yells that word out. Like if he's in line at a fast food place and he can't make his decision.
Yeah, in case you haven't seen this on YouTube.
What do you want? What are you going to order? Come on, we got to do it. I don't know. A hamburger. No, you can't have a penis.
Have it again.
Damn it.
I just don't. So Steve Harvey is doing Celebrity Feud, and Bruce Smith, the Hall of Famer from the Buffalo Bills, is on, and here's the exchange.
If Captain Hook was moonlighting as a handyman, he might replace his hook with what tool?
A hammer.
Try again.
A penis.
Tell me the age a kid is too old to sleep with a what?
Penis.
No, come on, we can't start this again.
And as I like how Michael Irvin is the, he's the grown up there. Hey, calm it down.
Why did he say that?
And as Paulie said, if you're working on your car in your garage and you ask Bruce Smith to get you a tool,
hello, we're just friends.
That's not a wrench.
Hey.
Like there's so many other tools.
Like what? I can't imagine. Okay, so that's what you're thinking of a handyman? Yes, he is.
Oh, dear.
Wrench was available, wasn't it?
Wrench, tin snips, orbital saw,
chisel. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything. A penis.
Well, of course that comes to mind.
Natch.
What if it would have like ding 2 and 2 other people? What? It's Bruce Smith's two cousins.
Yeah.
Ding.
Now, where the hell did
penis
I put that
is what we were looking for.
You never put the tools back where you got them. You're leaving them all over the house. I can't find the penis anywhere.
Honey, who's been in my toolbox? What are you missing? My penis.
Oh, what did I do with that damn penis?
Can we bring back Seaton's son with his penis song? Do we have that available here?
Oh, boy.
Like that.
What does it say?
Penis. Hey, Dad, can I take a picture?
No. You tell Mommy.
Sing your song.
There was a song, Penis?
Yeah.
What is it?
Another battle, a new Tina, a lunar ballerina, blood, dirty duck, moony dad, a doodly dev in the penis.
Now, I understand at his age, I didn't understand any word other than penis, but at his age, that's probably pretty important.
Yeah, it's the only word.
Bruce Smith loves that song.
Yeah. He's inspired by that. What were you listening to? Oh, Seton O'Connor's son, Kieran. You're gonna love that song.
Oh, buddy.
Do you have your best and worst of the weekend, Paul?
I should just bail. It's not going to put a bow on this segment.
You know what? Let me take a break, and then we'll come back. And Paulie will give you his best. And then I got some phone calls that I got to get to. We'll take a break here. It's 19 after the hour. This is the Dan Patrick Show. I'm glad that people are picking up on this new sponsor, Raycon, the earbuds. They started about half the price of any of the other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and they sound just as great. They do. The newest models, the Everyday E25 earbuds, that's what I have. The best ones, they have 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, and great bass. And you want that noise-isolating fit, that comfort that you have. And the wireless earbuds, comfortable, perfect for conference calls, video chats, if you're going to binge a podcast. Unlike some of the other wireless options, the Raycon earbuds are stylish. They're discreet, no dangling wires or stems. Cardi B, Snoop Dogg swear by them. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/Patrick. That's buyraycon.com/Patrick for 15% off. You'll become obsessed with Raycons, and it's nice to see what all the hype is all about with Raycon. Buyraycon.com/Patrick.
Get him good.
If they do a documentary on I Hate Dan Patrick,
How big are the shoes? 17. 17? 17. All right, well, you know this well. Where was Timberlake?
what happened before this play?
What happened before, if you watch the game, Feldhaus or someone pushes me into my hoop, into my defensive hoop.
Okay.
And I thought it was Timberlake. So then like 20 seconds later, I get fouled and Timberlake's right underneath me. And I just give him a little, and it ain't so bad, but everyone, I mean, what about what Rod Sellers did to me? You saw that.
Yeah.
That's assault. What I did to Timberlake was nothing.
But this is all people remember.
Yeah,
Well, it's because
right.
you did it.
You're right.
That's why.
And because of the game.
Yeah.
Because of the game. If,
Like
you know,
Make-A-Wish.
if
If you had lost that game.
Like
if it wasn't a
Living out
great
all your
game, no
dreams.
one would
That
talk
was
about
pretty
it.
cool.
Certain things
If
you
I
don't
didn't
think you
go
ever have a
10
chance
for
to
10,
do
growing up.
10 for 10 and hit that shot, no one would talk about it.
Living out all of your dreams.
I was a little disappointed.
You took it easy on me. I was thinking.
And is Pelfrey still coaching?
He is somewhere, yes.
Yeah. And that was such a gritty team, that Kentucky team. Like, they weren't stars.
Nice.
And you just ruined
Timberlake.
them.
And Mashburn fouled out. If he didn't foul out,
No way.
it might have been a different game.
No
He was
way.
great.
Get out of here.
Well, back then, he was
Think.
pretty much unstoppable.
Yep.
No way.
Then he changed his name to Justin.
And became a singer.
So Hurley's doing good, I think.
Hey, Dan. Coincidence? This is where Timberlake transferred after he left.
He
Kentucky.
did?
Yeah. Saw that.
Amazing.
Just random.
Yeah.
He transferred from Kentucky?
Yeah, he played, I think, one more year after that and then transferred to Kentucky.
Well, he had
I
to.
didn't
He
even
was
know that.
shamed. He couldn't return to Kentucky after
I
he
didn't
stepped
even
on
know
it.
that.
Yep. Ruined his life.
What's up, everybody? Marvin Prince here. Got a couple of emails. Thank you guys for all the interaction. Got one about the Cleveland Browns name and where it originated from. To answer a question, the franchise began in 1946. The fans initially proposed Panthers. It was a former semi-pro team in Cleveland. Paul Brown hated it because he said they were losers. Held another vote. They chose the Browns. He wanted a name he could use, like, you know, animate like Tigers, but he settled for Brown. Colors brown and orange, like his former high school team. We have one from my man Tyler from UConn. Me and my friends did the same New Haven pizza review like you did, DP. They ranked them modern, Sally's, Pepe, then Bar. I'm a modern guy myself. Rob, he said he thinks the Washington Danettes is perfect. It represents strength, humor, and intelligence. Well, maybe not so much intelligence. LOL. I laughed hard too. I'm sure Daniel Snyder would like it also. The New York Titans. I'm blanking real bad. It was the team had gone bankrupt during the 1962 season. New ownership came in and they said they wanted nothing to do with the Titans, so they changed the name to the Jets. And that's all I got for you. Thank you guys so much.
Why don't the Redskins have a new nickname? Probably because some realtor in Alexandria, Virginia, beat them to the punch, according to Will Brinson. Trademarked every single possible new Redskins nickname. Will Brinson is a senior NFL writer with CBS Sports. This guy trademarked every... I said this earlier in the show. How could this go wrong? Well, here you go. Congratulations. Yes, Paulie.
Okay, let's say you have the trademark and the website or whatever for whatever the Redskins name is. What's your price? It's like the number. Let's say he was offered $100,000 in season tickets for life.
Oh, yeah.
You take that?
Oh, sure.
First offer?
Yeah. Yeah. You're not getting that from Dan Snyder.
But I don't think he has to give it up. Can you be forced to give up a trademark maybe after a certain amount of time?
I think you have to show that you're using it, but I think there's a time frame, and they're under a little bit of a time crunch there, I think, in D.C. But this guy trademarked every possible name: Red Wolves, Red Tails, Monuments, Veterans, Red-tailed Hawks, Hogs. Yep, just about everything possible.
That's
there.
So annoying.
Renegades Gridiron Football. He did that. Red Wolves professional football team. He trademarked that. Oh, man. Gift that keeps on giving. All right, Paulie, best and worst of the weekend.
As a Liverpool soccer fan, I saw this headline all over the place. Manager Jurgen Klopp confirms plan to leave Liverpool in 2024 when his contract is over. But on the top
clickbait.
Clickbait.
They got you.
And then my other worst is Rondo being out, Rajon Rondo for the Lakers. I know he's not a vital member of the team, but he does usually equal drama, good, bad, or ugly. He's an entertaining player, even though he's not the Rondo of a decade ago. The Lakers are going to miss him a little bit, but I think NBA fans will miss him because he's perpetually angry on the court, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen him smile, and he's not my kind of player. I mean, there's a reason why he's been on, 6 teams in the last 7 years. But you're looking for depth, experience when you get to the playoffs. And not having Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo, it wouldn't mean much during the regular season. And I think Caruso, they're going to have guys who step up and get a chance to be on the big stage and, fill in those areas, those voids. A couple more phone calls here. Let me go to Jens in Idaho. Hopefully I got that right. Jens?
Yeah, you got it right.
Oh, okay.
Hey, first time, long time, 6'4", a COVID 240.
Okay.
There we go. Missed you guys last week, but we had plenty of entertainment here. My best of the weekend, the birth of our first child, a little boy weighing in at 8 pounds, 21 inches.
And the name?
Victor.
Victor. All right. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Can we get the height and weight bell for? There you go. Okay.
Worst of the weekend. I'm a public school teacher, and hearing that the Washington Orange Skins would like to open up our schools again in the fall now that our pandemic numbers are worse than when we closed in the first place.
All right. Thank you, Jens. We try not to get political here. Snuck in a little dig there. Jeff in St. Louis. Hi, Jeff.
Hello, Dan. Welcome back. Hope you and y'all had a perfect 4th of July. Welcome back and had a perfect vacation. And I'm 5 foot. Don't ding it yet. I'm 5'8". I was 165. Now I'm 155 after laughing so hard about the penis jokes. I'm sorry. I had to throw that in. That was great.
All right.
My best of the weekend, personally for me, was I got to see 3 concerts, and I got to see Brad Paisley Friday. I got to see El Monstero, sound just like Pink Floyd, and Nelly. I live 10 miles from that amphitheater. And my worst happened on Tuesday. Charles Daniels died, and I hate to be the bummer of the day.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeff. Oh, yeah, Charlie Daniels. Charlie Daniels had a good life, though. He had that. You get that one hit that overshadows everything. Devil Went Down to Georgia with CDB. That was a big deal. That was a big deal. And that was, when you look at country music crossing over, Charlie Daniels was country, but that song crossed over. And when we think of crossover, like Shania Twain, but she's not, like hardcore country, or Taylor Swift. Run DMC, that crossed over with Aerosmith. You have some of those songs that are just seminal moments where you go, oh, that's different, or you're hearing something that you don't normally hear on a radio. Blake in Detroit. Hey, Blake, what do you have for me today?
DP, two bets. My cousin won 960 on that kid in the golf tournament, and Big Cat's on the prowl next weekend at Muirfield. And then a little wiffle ball, pool basketball, and dare I say jacuzzi. So good weekend.
Yeah, doesn't sound bad. Thank you, Blake. Yeah, you're talking about the Big Cat. Tigers coming back next week. That was what was lost when you had the match with Mickelson and Tiger and Brady and Peyton Manning. Tiger didn't say a whole lot, but watching him play, I came away so impressed. We got caught up in Brady playing so bad, Phil giving a tutorial, and Peyton with, his sneaky biting comments. What was lost in all of that is Tiger Woods was putting it where he wanted to put it. And I came away going, uh-oh, whenever he comes back, if he's healthy, here we go again. And if I said what's more likely to happen, Tiger catches Jack, LeBron catches Michael, Mahomes catches Brady.
LeBron's one behind? Wait, three behind.
Yeah, LeBron's got 3 titles. Ooh. He's running out of time. He's got to win the next 3 years. But Tiger is, 4 behind Jack?
Isn't it 3 now? Wasn't he up to 15?
15, and then Jack's got 18. And then Mahomes has 1, but it's harder for Mahomes to do it in a team sport where he's going to go catch Brady. And it's a great start, but how long does Andy Reid stay in that job? Brady had Belichick. And Patrick Mahomes, who's his next coach going to be? And how much of a role will that coach be playing and just how successful they are? LeBron he gets to 4. Yeah, it'd be tough. He'd have to win the next 3. And I don't know if I see that happening. Tiger catching Jack. There's still time. You can play competitively for, till you're 50. Now, his body is, reconstructed. But if he wins 1 or 2 this year, how about that? Who would have thought? After, what did he go? 9 years without a major? Was it that long?
I think it was almost right around 10.
10?
Because it was 08 to 18.
And I said at the time, what will be more impressive? He went 10 years without winning, or what he did in those other 10 years where he was unbelievable. And the greatest single performance, I think, in the history of golf was turned in by Tiger Woods at the U.S. Open. It's 11 years he went without a major.
08 to 19.
But what he did at Pebble Beach when he won by, 15 shots? I think it's the greatest performance in the history of golf. It would be like Usain Bolt lapping somebody. What Tiger did to an entire field, all those golfers, and he rendered them meaningless. Pretty amazing. And hopefully he still gets to entertain us. Because as much as I love watching Justin Thomas or Colin Morikawa, who is a rising star, by the way, he's going to be a star. I remember watching him on the Golf Channel when you had the colleges competing for the national championship. And I remember watching him, and I thought, this guy he is a great iron player. And he went toe-to-toe with Justin Thomas, who's going to be a Hall of Fame golfer. Let me go to Matt in North Carolina. Hi, Matt.
What's up, DP?
Hey, Matt.
The best and the worst. As a Patriots fan, I was watching Cam throw to N'Keal Harry. Kind of gave me some hope. And The worst is my wife's a Redskins fan, and kind of hearing that the Redskins were forced to change their name, she's not happy. I don't think it's cool because my personal opinion is the group that's offended is not the group that, on Sunday morning has a bunch of beer and chicken wings watching football.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt. Being the best quarterback rarely coincides with winning Super Bowls. You have to go back to the 1999 season, Kurt Warner, to find the last quarterback to win the regular season MVP and win the Super Bowl title in the same season. And go back to when Mahomes got injured last year. People forget about that. That could have been career ending. It looked really bad. And people forget that their season could have been done. Unless Matt Moore can come to the rescue. And that looked really bad. And then all of a sudden you started to get a little bit more positive updates, and it felt like, okay, he's only going to miss a couple of weeks or a month. Yeah, McLovin.
That's interesting. I'm looking at these MVP lists. It's almost always the Super Bowl loser is the MVP. Like time and time again.
Yeah.
Or like close to it.
David in Arkansas. Hey, David, what's on your mind today?
Good morning, gentlemen. It's kind of a combination, best and the worst. The worst was I officiated and did the eulogy at my best friend's funeral. However, the best, we were all dressed in our Chiefs game day outfits. We plastered his coffin with Chiefs stickers, did the tomahawk chop as his coffin was being wheeled out. And you wearing the Led Zeppelin shirt, you will appreciate the fact that the service began with the immigrant song. So that kind of tells you what type of service it was. And also, we did get to see the Chiefs win the Super Bowl before he died. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, thank you, David. You have those bittersweet moments, and you try to celebrate. It's weird when you go to a wake or a funeral. Now, with the Irish, you end up getting around to just telling stories and having fun. But, I've been to other ones where there's nothing fun about them. So you're sending me, this was his, the kneecap was dislocated, right, McLovin?
Yeah, exactly.
And he does have some damage in there, ligament damage. Did that get repaired? Because he had that back then, but he's double jointed.
This was a report from Ian Rappaport, NFL Network, last year, that when they went in and checked out his knee, they said he had loose ligaments. That's what a source, a medical source, told NFL Network, that it was not nearly as bad as they thought it was going to be after seeing the injury. It's like being double jointed, they compared it to.
Ian Rappaport said he's hearing Mahomes' knee injury and his exceptional anatomy.
We back to Bruce Smith here?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Bruce, your thoughts?
Yeah. Bruce, what comes to mind when you think about Patrick Mahomes' exceptional anatomy?
His arm, no.
Bruce, give us the greatest quarterback you've ever seen play. Joe Montana.
No.
Greatest quarterback of all time, Brady. No. Yes.
Fritzy called for Bruce Smith.
We're the best.
We think he'll do it. He's got a personality.
He got
He's been on the show before.
He got a sense of humor. Yeah.
It was interesting that the PR person asked me what would the topics be. It's some kind of odd.
That's not true.
I'm being totally serious.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what did you say?
I said I'm sure we'll have a little fun with what happened last night at Family Feud, maybe the Washington nickname, and what he's doing these days.
Break down that
NFL season.
That Bills defense.
How long was he on the Washington Redskins?
4 seasons. His last 4 seasons.
Oh, he was that long.
Yeah.
A lot of paychecks.
Yeah. The Redskins have done that. Dion got paychecks from Washington. Yeah, McLovin.
There was a Twitter controversy over the vacation. Asante Samuel said that Darrell Green, the cornerback for the Redskins, was overrated and never did anything. And I got to tell you, as a football fan who grew up in the 80s, there was never any doubt about how great he was, the Redskins cornerback.
Well, why is Asante Samuel the one who's breaking down former NFL players?
All these great NFL coaches and players.
But how did it come up that Asante Samuel?
He tweeted out.
So he randomly tweeted out that Darrell Green was overrated.
Yes. And then, like, you should see the Hall of Famers, like Jimmy Johnson. Everyone's like, man, you didn't have to play against him. He was the real deal.
First of all, he's the fastest guy in the league. When he played, Darrell Green was, I think, the fastest guy in the league. Return guy. And, I don't know what Asante Samuel's logic is. Now, he did play the position, but I'm going to guess I'll let the people who played against him and with him. Darrell Green, always enjoyed Darrell Green. I got to be around the Redskins because they were good at the time, and I covered some of the playoff games when I was working in New York. And I was there when the Chicago Bears came to town. And that's when there was a different football team because Redskins were at home, and I saw something that was completely different than I'd seen, that the Chicago Bears were unbelievable. They were unbelievable. And, of course, they became a great, one-season wonder.
Thanks.
Sorry, Paulie.
All right.
That's all right. Probably should have gotten one more out of that one. Probably. Didn't McMahon get hurt, I think?
Yeah, a lot of
But
things.
he always got hurt.
Buddy left.
Yeah.
Buddy Ryan came to the Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Man. I hate doing this, but I do this. I take it out on Rex Ryan and Rob Ryan because their dad was such a jerk to me when Buddy was with the Eagles. Oh, I had such a terrible run-in with him when we were doing these previews of the teams. So I'd do a preview on the Giants, the Jets, the Eagles, Patriots, and I'd go to these camps and do a preview. And that was the season after Randall Cunningham was sacked 62 times. And my first question to Buddy Ryan was, what are you doing to make sure that Randall Cunningham doesn't go through what he went through? And he goes, oh, we're just going to let everybody sack him. And then he walked away. And the PR guy had to run and get Buddy and go, no, come back. This is CNN. We need you to do this. I asked the same question, and he said, oh, we're just going to let everybody sack him. And he walked away again. And I went, what the hell? That's a really important question. By the way, did you see Randall Cunningham is now the chaplain for the Raiders?
Yeah, how about that?
That's pretty cool.
If they have an NFL chaplain punt, pass, and kick contest, I got my guy. With all due respect, somebody's in trouble when somebody starts out their tweet. With all due respect, can someone explain to me why Darrell Green is considered a great? He played 19 years, mostly a nickelback, 54 interceptions in 19 years. Talk to me. I think Asante Samuel is saying he played 11 years and had 51 picks, which is really impressive as a number. I think maybe he's comparing himself.
And it felt like they tried to pick on Asante Samuel. Maybe the reason why Darrell Green didn't have more interceptions is they might not have gone towards Darrell Green, where it felt like there for a time they went after Asante Samuel. Yes, McLovin?
Yeah, like Jimmy Johnson said, he was always on the number one guy. Even late in his career, he was shadowing guys.
He started, Darrell Green played in 295 games. 80 more than any other player in franchise history. I don't think a nickel defensive back is going to be, look, if Asante Samuel is saying that he's a Hall of Fame defensive back, then I guess I understand why he's tweeting that out. Is that what he's saying, McLovin, that Asante Samuel with all those picks deserves to be a Hall of Famer?
I guess so. Okay. That's implied, maybe.
Oh, okay.
He has to make it clear.
All right, we'll take a break. Last call for phone calls. Back after this. How do you not let ego factor in when you're on the mound?
It can be hard, especially when you start thinking about, let's just say, last series. What? Kershaw didn't start game one? There are things that in this game that when you have a reputation or when you are the best pitcher in baseball for the last 10, 11 years, and guys in your club, stuff is starting to be a little bit better, viewed better. Look, to me, I think what Clayton represents is everything you want a player to represent. So at times, an organization may have to have conversations or communications with your star player, but the ego on the mound has got to be there in the ability to think that you are better than anybody that steps in the plate. But you can't allow it to have such a chip on your shoulder, and that's easier said than done when you may be passed over or somebody else might be the hotter pitcher at the time. And that's just a unique situation that the Dodgers have. They have so many good pitchers that they get to line it up the way they get to line it up.
Christian Yelich is 9 for 17 against Kershaw, so he's batting .529. There were certain guys that had your number. Do you change anything because of that success that they have against you?
Yeah, I think, you treat, if it were a regular season, you look at this, certainly they're going to look at all the video. He's going to look at everything. He's going to look at things that he did in the past that he didn't like and make certain adjustments. But the postseason is always a different animal. But traditionally, the first thing you're going to do is look to something different. You want to show the hitter something different. You want to be able to make the necessary adjustment. But the biggest thing is it is a different stage. So this will be the first time they face each other in the postseason, and that in and of itself resets the clock. But as soon as he gets a hit, your memory starts kicking back in, and you start getting frustrated because of the past success. And it's not really a small sample size, so that's why you have to make changes and as a pitcher. And then vice versa, if you've had a lot of success, you don't really want to make a lot of changes. You want to see what the hitter's going to do first. So I love and miss the cat and mouse games, especially in the postseason, because you're just reading the body and the aggressiveness of a hitter at this time of the year to determine how you want to attack them. I felt like any guy in the postseason that wanted to be the hero at the plate or aggressive, I was going to be successful 100% of the time. But if he was more towards like, I'll take my walk and patient, then it was a battle. But that's what you're trying to figure out in the postseason. You want guys aggressive. You want each guy standing in the plate wanting to hit a homer or trying to be the hero for their team and let the moment get too big.
All right, so I'm disappointed to learn from Mario in the back that there's no winner, but we'll still share this with you. At 34 and 45, clue for 34 is "You Know It's You, Babe." You know it's you, babe. I had to get that because I like to sing. On this day in 1934, Babe Ruth hits career home run number 700 off Tommy Bridges of the Tigers. 1934, that's where we get 34 from. And then we go to 45. 45, the clue is he was the National League's daddy. And why do we say that? On this day in 1999, the Red Sox Pedro Martinez, uniform number 45, makes the record book, becoming the first to strike out the first 4 hitters in All-Star Game history, fanning Barry Larkin, Larry Walker, and Sammy Sosa in the first inning, and then Mark McGwire to start the second inning. So you got Pedro Martinez, number 45, huge All-Star Game performance, 4 strikeouts in a row, 34, Babe Ruth, number 700, 1934.
Drums. Seton, what's going on over there? What did I miss?
I'm just watching our good friends in Chat Row here reacting to Todd's scoreboard segment. And, much like they've developed the Aereo.
Yeah.
Aereo. I'm noticing Todd, his name is being spelled Fritzy, like lots of Z's, as in
like snoring,
sleeping,
oh,
as in boring.
Wow,
Fritzy.
Okay, so Fritzy does a scoreboard challenge every day, and it started years ago, and then we gave Fritzy a little airtime, and they're at times really difficult unless you look up this day in sports history, and you didn't get a winner today. And I said that people in Chat Row were saying scoreboard, B-O-R-E-D, and now it's Fritz.
It's me.
Yes, Paul.
Dan, I think everyone can blame me for this because a decade ago when Fritzy would do numbers on a scoreboard, he would do it, but not on air. And I'd be like, Fritzy, if you're going to do this, please do it on the show or the look-ins.
Yeah.
And about 3 months ago, Fritzy, after 10 years of being asked, said, I'm going to do this on air. Turns out I was wrong.
Scoreboard.
Thank you. Thank you, Paulie.
It's good producing, Paul.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's all about content.
Ooh, snoreboard.
Ooh.
Wow. Bang.
Man.
The snoreboard.
What?
Wow.
Sponsor.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Bang.
Sorry, Todd.
Blackjack Thompson coming through. Huge.
It's a shot. That's a shot. Mike in Texas. Mike, what's on your mind today?
Hey, good to have you back, gentlemen. I use that term loosely, of course. 5'11", 224. Yeah. Hey, Fitz, you going out for the coin toss. Remember, red tails never fails. I did want to talk about the Redskins. Did want to talk about changing that team name as it rightfully should be. And I think an appropriate name to honor the tradition of the NFL and the Washington, D.C. Football Club, the Pigskins. You get to keep the Skins name. Goes back, hey, Dan, goes back to the old Joe Gibbs, the hog ball they were playing out there.
Look, it's not bad, Mike. I'm fine with, people are going to have a problem with whatever name they pick. It's just a question of how many people have a problem. People hate everything.
Is there a name that will be collectively applauded, or will it just be too little too late? Can you think of any name that's like, oh,
Red Tails.
Red Tails, right?
Yeah. Red Tails will get a little bit more play. I think so. Let me see. Can I get another phone call in here? Jeff in Detroit, of course. Hi, Jeff.
What up, though? One time for Chat Row. Hey, best and worst real quick. Worst is going to be going through the withdrawals of not having you guys on the air. Best on Facebook. Chat Row rallied together and got it, man. We were going through some rough times without you guys on the air. I mean, look at what we missed. We talked about carp colors, best piece of bathroom decor, penis, and we had a kid sing a penis song. Where do you get this type of content, man? You are the best. Don't leave us. Don't leave us.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Those are all good points.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah. When people say, what's the secret sauce? What's the magic? They talk pizza. They talk penis. I mean,
bathroom decor.
Yeah, bathroom decor. Yeah, all the normal things.
Don't forget sharks.
Oh, yeah. McLovin is.
Andrew's seen one. A great white.
You're so brave. You are.
Yep.
You're incredible.
It's my thing.
You're a Steve Irwin.
Didn't end up well for
No,
me.
it did not.
Yeah,
Oops.
please, I hope not.
Sorry. But you don't go in the water. That's the key.
Yes.
Steve Irwin stayed on the sand.
Yeah.
Much less entertaining.
Yeah. Todd, what did you learn today?
Sports Illustrated's Pat Forty says if he was the NCAA president, he'd want all the commissioners to meet in Indy in person and create a unified schedule.
What did I learn today, Todd?
You learned that, we all learned, saying New Haven Pizza is the best in the nation led to a social media storm saying, stay in your lane, Dan Patrick.
What we learned brought to you by LegalZoom. They're not a law firm. It's a good thing. You don't have to leave your home. Visit LegalZoom.com today for more information. Good to be back. Talk to you tomorrow.